Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the June 3rd, 2026 meeting of the Daytona Beach City Commission. We are happy to have you with us tonight. Madam Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Commissioner May.
Here.
Commissioner Cantu.
Here.
Commissioner Henry.
Present.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Parrish.
Here.
Commissioner Strickland. Here. Mayor Derek L. Henry.
Motion to excuse Mayor Henry from this meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Reed and a second from Commissioner May. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes 6-0.
Okay, we're going to move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes of the May 6, 2026 City Commission meeting.
So move.
Who was that?
Cantu.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Cantu. We have a second from Commissioner Reed. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes 6-0. Okay. We will now move on to item number 5A, agenda approval. If there are any changes, the city manager will read them at this time.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, item addendum 8I to the consent agenda, Finance Department Bike Week sponsorship funds allocation, $975 to Agents of Discovery Avatar for the city's sesquicentennial celebration from the Bike Week funds of Commissioner Paris. Zone support funds to the consent agenda, to the Links Foundation, Commissioner Reed, $1,000. To the Midtown Community Development Corporation, $8,500, Reed. To the Senior Oasis programs at the Dickerson Senior Oasis program and the Cherry Senior Oasis program, each $1,000. Reed. The Omicron chapter of Omega Psi Phi, $500, Commissioner Reed. To the Boys and Girls Club of Volusia County, Flagler counties, Commissioner Reed, $1,000. Commissioner Henry, $2,000 to the Youth Pilots of America program, $1,000 to the Boys and Girls Club, $1,000 Our Lady of Lourdes Helping Hands, $1,000 Juneteenth, $1,000 Janice and Wanda Wilson, $1,000 Rosemary Bryant Center, $1,000 to the Friends of the Band Shell. Comments and inquiries from the City Commission. Commissioner Parrish requests for staff to place Peninsula Drive on the agenda for discussions with the Transportation Planning Organization and continue coordination with Florida Department of Transportation regarding the roadway conditions along that corridor. That concludes the changes for the agenda tonight.
With those changes, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I want to pull a few things off the consent agenda.
Okay.
8A, 8B, 8H for discussion.
8.
8A, A, B, and H.
Could you say that again, Commissioner Cantu?
A, B, H.
8A, 8B, and 8H. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we can approve the agenda with those changes?
So moved. Second.
Okay, that first motion came from Commissioner Paris and second came from Commissioner May. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes 6-0.
Okay, we have no presentations this evening, so we're going to move on to item number 7. This is citizen comments. During this time, citizens have the opportunity to address the City Commission on any item on the consent agenda. And I have one speaker, Mr. John Nicholson. You'll wait to the, okay, then I have no other speakers on the consent agenda.
Okay. Does any member of the commission wish to, okay, we've removed the item. Okay. So are we going to discuss the other items now, or we're going to discuss them later?
We can do them right after.
So just do the consent approval.
Okay. All right, motion to approve the consent agenda as changes, with changes. It's been made? Who?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we already voted. Okay. All right.
Time to vote.
All the,
On the agenda changes, but not
The consent agenda.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
There's no motion for the, So we need a motion now for the consent agenda minus 8A, B, and H.
H.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Okay, Strickland and Reed.
okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Strickland and a second by Commissioner Reed. All those in favor with said changes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, hearing none, motion passes 6-0.
So now we'll move on to item 8A, which is the Business Enterprise Management Department Daytona Beach Boat Club License Agreement. This is a resolution approving a license agreement between the City of Daytona Beach Boat Club, Inc. for limited use of city-owned facility located at 419 Basin Street at a cost of $600 per year for a 10-year term with options to renew for 2 10-year terms, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the license agreement and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Okay, we have a
And-
motion from, we have
May.
a motion from Commissioner May. We have a second from Commissioner Strickland, and we have a speaker.
I do have a speaker for this
Okay.
item,
Okay.
Mr. John Nicholson.
John Nicholson.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. I don't oppose this. It's much like we did with the Peninsula Club over on the beach side. They get to use the property. Otherwise, during that time of the week, it would not be used anyway. So they might as well continue to use it. They've been faithful to us for, 50 years, I guess they've had that building there. But as you know, every Sunday morning, I drive through the marina. That's over half of all the property that we own on the river. The marina is a massive piece of property. The public doesn't get to use that property. If you think about it, they do, mama foo-foos. Otherwise, the public doesn't use that. The marina people who rent there, it's rental, okay? We don't get on their boats. We don't go to their store. The city owns a big building there, but it's basically a city office, which hopefully someday we might turn into something more. But basically, it's a huge, huge piece of property. We're leasing it from the state, except for 2 acres on the northeast corner, all right? We own those 2 acres outright. Otherwise, we lease all of it. But it's a beautiful park for people to walk through or whatever. Rarely do you see anybody walk through. So if I'm there for 45 minutes to an hour, I'll see 3 residents, 2 with dogs, and 1 just bicycling through. Otherwise, it's not used. So we need to use it. I've asked a couple of times to put out an RFP for property that the city owns on the river to get restaurants. We have these property, beautiful piece of property on Seabreeze. The best property in any city on the river. And it's sitting there empty to use as a drainage ditch. A restaurant would be more profitable, more useful. This property, I understand you want to turn it into a lounge. Well, they had a lounge, and we turned it into a city planning department building that's basically not used a lot. We really need to open it up, see if we can get an RFP for that building, with the proviso that the Thursdays are for the boat club. That's a given. People can work around that. But we need to, this is a beautiful building. If there was a deck behind it, you'd have a restaurant deck on the river looking at all those beautiful boats. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
That was my only speaker, Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor, I'd like to make a comment, point of correction. I have been presenting that property as a banquet center, not a lounge. It's property that we can rent to organizations. It can keep it on the mainland side. The funds can come back to us. The fact that we already own it is already 50% of the issue. And it is a beautiful piece of property. We've had some folks to look at it. They can't believe we haven't done anything with it yet. You get to see the yachts. You get to see the rivers. When you think about us being the largest city of 16 in Volusia County, and New Smyrna, DeLand, Daytona all have beautiful banquet centers that I've had the pleasure of visiting through the Volusia League of Cities, yet Daytona has nothing. Everything our citizens rent are gymnasiums. When you want to have a wedding or a reception or some type of party, they're trying to convert a gymnasium into something that you would want someone to come in and utilize. Whereas we have a property that if we took advantage of it, we could utilize it to its fullest extent and also bring in some dollars for our citizens. So not a lounge, we're looking at a banquet center.
Yeah, and not only
Okay,
that,
wait.
Commissioner,
Property that we're talking about is not that.
That's not that
we're getting
one.
ready to vote on.
Okay. No, but I just
It's a
want to talk about
very
him.
small.
But I didn't want him to be saying we're talking about a lounge.
because, yes.
I was just correcting his lounge language.
Or else they have to go to another city to rent a nice banquet facility too. So, okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay.
With them renting it out. But I had talked to Mr. Fiacher and Mr. Gross. I just want to make sure that the marina, the people that actually live on the boats at the marina, they can rent this out anytime as well if they want. And it's not stopping them as long as it's free
Well,
to rent out.
this agreement only provides for the use 2 days a month of the facility by the boat club. The city retains the right to use it otherwise in any way that the city wants to use it. So that would be one of the issues that if the commission needed to address, the commission
Okay.
could create something for
Right.
that.
I would like
So-
to do something because I've heard from some of, I'm sure Commissioner May has heard from them too, and I have friends out there, so I hear from your, sorry. But I know they used to be able to use this facility, just like if I live in a gated community or HOA, and we can rent out a community center, and like Bayberry, I believe, is totally free. If they can make reservation, they have to give a $100 deposit and then clean it, and then they get their $100 back. I just want to be able, if someone on that boat decides they want to rent it out to have a granddaughter's birthday party or whatever, I want to be able to make sure they're able to do the same thing.
I thought that Parks and Rec would be handling that as well, but I definitely think that that's a really fantastic idea. Also, already when we have our marina meetings, the boat club is kind enough to allow us to use it during that time. And then they also have ongoing, not their own events, but they actually help other community centers, other communities come in there and say we want to rent it for a special event. They allow them to come in and use it, except all of that will be going through us.
So after this, would you like to make a motion and I'll
I'm
second?
assuming that Parks and Rec would be involved in any kind, but I think you mean as just a community center, a community meeting place for the
Correct,
boaters.
for the
Yeah.
residents.
Yes, it will be a
That's what I
rental
thought.
facility, and we will provide all the information to the public at the
But
marina.
I think point of notice is specifically, could the marina residents have access to it as well to rent as a community room?
Correct.
Yes, and
Separate
That's what I
separate from
was
Parks
talking
and Rec.
about. Correct, separate.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, sir. No, I'm joking.
yes, that will be the process. The discussion also centered around with legal, making sure that everyone was insured. That is the key process, because the boat club will have insurance for their meetings. A separate individual, a separate individual does not have the same covering that the boat club would have, because they're doing their insurance. So all of that will go through legal to make sure that if there's a private individual renting the facility, how do we make sure it's insured from a liability situation? So it's not a matter of us not wanting to do that. We're just going to have to make sure that they pay a certain fee for liability. Now, we may have to do something within the rental of a private individual, just liveaboard person renting it.
I just wanted to say to Mr. Gross, thank you so much for working diligently, your staff, with the Boaters Club. I know it's gone back and forth multiple times, so thank you so much for working with them.
Well, thank you. But just to be clear, Michael Stallworth was the point of contact with the boat club, and
And to
we
Mr.
worked with
Stallworth
him.
also,
Yeah.
thank you.
I do have some questions. To my understanding, this is going through business enterprise, not Parks and Rec.
It could go through both of them, depending on if it's going to be a rental that is outside of the business enterprise.
Because then I asked, what is the vision for this? And the vision is not what was just mentioned, so this is why I'm a little confused. It says the city's vision is to transform the facility into a boater's lounge for Halifax Harbor Marina customers. Is that what it's for, or is it going to be able to?
No,
be,
this is for the marina
No, it's for the
only.
marina, not just
this
general
is
public
all
people.
for the marina.
It's
So
yeah.
any kind of rentals is only allowed to be
It's marina liveaboard
rented
individuals
Correct.
and marina
from the
activities.
marina. Okay.
Correct.
Just want to make sure that it's not.
Because it is an enterprise.
Not for just some,
It's not going to
for
be
me to just
for
go and rent out
public.
a lounge.
No. Okay. Because it also is going to cost us. I mean, roughly they said from $8,000 to $17,000 a year to run this facility. So I hope we could make this money back. Does it get taken out of general fund, or does it come out of business enterprise?
It's a business enterprise.
Okay. Thank you.
And
So
we do
we
already have a motion in a second.
And then we can make the other, okay.
We had a motion from Commissioner May and a motion from Commissioner Strickland to approve this item. I don't think anything's being amended about it, so I don't think, okay.
Just want to talk about.
All in favor, right?
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner May and a second by Commissioner Strickland. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
And then, are you going to make that motion?
Motion passes
Oh,
6-0.
okay, so I'm going to make a motion at the marina.
If I can, Commissioner,
Yeah,
maybe,
go ahead.
maybe if y'all are okay with this, I could work with Mr. Fietcher. We could actually bring back a resolution for y'all to vote
that'd
on. That
be-
would have like the process and standards for, under which staff could, lease or license or permit the use of the facility for the boaters.
Okay, and what's the timeline
I
on
like that.
I think we could bring that back next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
perfectly fine.
that work for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, Vice Mayor Henry, I wanted to ask that the 8B be continued. Shannon Pollins, our Utilities Director, wants to look at some questions in reference to this particular property. So we want to ask for it to be continued to the next meeting.
Okay.
8B.
8B, so if I can get a motion to continue it.
I'll make the motion to continue it. But one of the questions, since you are the 27,000, which I didn't have the estimate for that, and those two invoices that I received, I would like to know if they were being deducted from that 27 as well, since the city did pay out on that. But I would like a little bit more information on that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, who was the motion by?
Cantu.
Okay, we have a motion on the table with Commissioner Cantu, a second from Commissioner Reed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0.
And then 8H
8A.
is the City Manager's Office Mayoral Zone Support Fund resolution authorizing grants from the Mayoral Zone Support Funds, authorizing the budget officer to amend the budget as necessary, and providing an effective date.
Okay.
Oh, you're not doing a motion yet? Okay. Okay, well, you did a motion on the other one, so.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I'm pulling this, first of all, I've seen a lot on social media. I want to know, out of all these organizations, is there anyone up on the dais that is a member of any of these organizations?
I'm not.
Juneteenth, Lady Lord, Wanda Wilson, Recovering THC.
I'm
Wilson.
not.
She did Black Pass. Nope. And
And-
my list, no. I'm not a member of any of these organizations.
Do not belong to any of them?
I do not belong to
Okay.
any of these organizations.
Mr. Fietcher?
Oh, I don't belong to any of these.
I mean, you don't belong to any of these organizations?
Yes, I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry, I do. I belong to the Links.
You belong to the links?
Mhm.
Okay. I would like to make a motion that we propose an ordinance prohibiting donations to any group of which any commissioner is a member of.
So moved.
So we got a motion and a second.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Paris and a second from Commissioner, No, we have a motion from Commissioner Cantu and a second from Commissioner Paris.
Discussion.
Discussion?
And you need to invite public comment on that too, Madam Vice Chair.
And I do have a discussion on that too. Mr. Gross, I already thought that we were not allowed to be giving money to any organizations that we actually are members of. I'm just asking you a question. Do you actually pay dues to this?
Yes, I do.
You do. So
I'd have to research that, Commissioner. There are potential, issues under Chapter 112 of the Florida statutes if a commissioner is on one of these things, but I'd not been aware of it, and I would just have to research that
Okay.
and report back to the commission.
So, Commissioner Reed, I would like to pull the Links Foundation until he researches that one.
We have given funds to the Links Foundation for years. It
I
goes to their.
understand that.
Let me finish my comment, please. It goes to their national foundation, and then it comes back to the local organization because that's where their 501c3 is housed. And I have a list of why I gave these organizations funding. I'm surprised that the list isn't here. I know that Commissioner Traeger gave $12,000 to the museum downtown, and she and Warren were the chairs and the co-chairs of that committee. So I don't think that there's anything that's going to prohibit us from giving funding to organizations we belong to.
How much is your member dues to that organization?
$400 and some odd.
A year?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have a motion. She has one on the floor that I'm putting an ordinance in place. We do not give donations to any organizations that we are members of. So we do have a,
So an ordinance requires 2 readings.
Okay.
Your motion would be, I guess, first reading.
she gave me a second.
Yeah, the other thing is you could do that by resolution, and that would take effect immediately. You wouldn't need to do that as an ordinance.
Then I'll change it to a resolution. Well, I mean, I'd rather have an ordinance in place.
Okay, so I think maybe the motion should be that this is a motion to approve on first reading and ordinance. I would have to then draft it, and
Okay.
we'd bring it back at this
Okay, because
next
then
meeting.
we have to advertise it, so it wouldn't come back at the next meeting.
Okay.
And then
It would come back at the following.
also, there should be some kind of ordinance or resolution. It could be a resolution on this, that when we add things to the agenda like this, we need to get more notice. You can't just add stuff like this to the last minute. The public should be aware of any money that we are giving out. So, but we have this one on the floor, so if we can call for, I guess, a vote for first reading. Do we need a vote, correct?
We got to do public comments.
Oh, we got public comments.
And as
Okay.
they're coming, I'd like to say this. I don't think any organization in Daytona Beach that is supporting our citizens, made up of citizens, should suffer that the city is not willing to give them funding so they continue to provide the services they provide.
It's a conflict of interest.
I don't believe so. That's your opinion, and this is mine.
Right, and you can vote no.
Exactly, and I will.
What do you believe the conflict of interest is?
If you're a member of this organization and you are giving money to your organization, that's a conflict to me.
The conflict to me would be if I owned this, if I were the proprietor of this organization, which I am not. It's a nationally recognized organization.
Sandy, are you wanting to speak
And you
on
have to
this?
pay dues to this.
You don't
And
have
to.
actually, if you want to get to the bottom of these, I looked at these organizations, and I don't care who has given money to them, but we are nonpartisan, and I feel like this is a partisan
Not at all.
organization.
Not at all.
Well, then can I go to this?
Yes, you could join
Okay,
links.
I can join
Yes.
it. Okay.
You could join what? What would you like to join?
I'm going to join the links.
If you're voted on, you
Foundation.
can join. It's an
And what else
invitation
would you
only.
like to join?
Invitation only. The Links Foundation.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
If it's a nonprofit and it is helping the community, what's and there
Because it is a partisan, actually.
It's not partisan at all. It has nothing to do
partisan
with.
how? Partisan
Yeah.
would be political, right?
Yeah, and they're not political at all.
They're not political.
They can't even support.
Huh?
No comments from the audience.
No comments from the audience, but that is
Okay,
the definition of
but
partisan.
I'm sorry, I made a motion, I got a second. If it dies, it dies, but I do not believe that any commissioner should be given money to an organization
We heard you.
that they are a member. And yes, you heard me, and you can vote no.
And I will.
Okay.
So does that mean, like, the veterans, you wouldn't give money to you can't give money to the veterans? I just want to know.
Veterans is nonpartisan. I advocate for veterans, but I'm actually not a member. I'm not a veteran, but I advocate for anybody actually can be auxiliary. I don't pay dues.
Wait a minute. So what you're saying is,
And I knew you were going to bring this up. I don't pay dues at all.
I know,
I'm
I'm
not
just-
actually a member because I'm not a veteran. I am auxiliary, which lots of veteran organizations out here.
Which sounds like an affiliation to me.
I do not pay dues, and I am actually not a actual member because I am not a veteran.
and I'm only,
And
I'm just,
anybody can help and advocate for veterans.
I'm only bringing it up. I just want to know because I want a clear understanding of exactly, is it, you don't want them to be a member or auxiliary, or is it that you don't want someone that's paying dues?
I don't think anyone should be given money to their organization that they are a member of. And I'm not going to sit up here and repeat myself over and over.
Wait a minute,
If you
wait a
don't
minute,
like it,
it's-
Commissioner Henry, you can vote no. I shouldn't have to sit up here and explain. I just explained.
I just want a clear understanding. You don't, it's not that deep.
Right. It's not.
Sandy, go ahead.
There's a difference between a conflict of interest and being a member of an organization. All of these nonprofits are required by their bylaws and by federal law to not benefit any member or any person on their board of directors. There can be no personal benefit that takes place in a nonprofit. So the idea that somebody who is a member is influencing this in a way that would bring a conflict of interest because it benefits them, I don't think that's correct at all. The second point I'd like to make is that I think the definition of partisan that's being used here is a peculiar definition. Partisan usually means favoring one party or another. In this case, none of these organizations are political in the way that they would favor one side over the other. So I don't understand the objection here. I just feel like this is more of a personal issue than an issue that really affects the community. Thank you.
And I'm going to disrespect. I'm going to respectfully disagree, but I can tell you, I actually looked up all these, even on Facebook. And Midtown Community Development Corporation, I saw lots of things up there on that Facebook page about voting this, voting for this, voting for that during election time. I mean, I don't know anything about the organization, but I did look it up. So that sounds like it's kind of political to me.
I don't know. You might have looked up the wrong MCDC. The only thing I know they've
Actually,
asked people
I
to vote
didn't.
on was
I
the
actually
banners
didn't.
that they put out during Black History Month. Citizens vote on.
No, go on there. They actually had QR codes and everything. And I did look up, I saw the black banners on that as well. And I'm sorry, but I have a motion,
But I'm not
and
a member
that's
of that
strongly
group.
as I feel, and I don't think I should have to keep repeating myself.
You're right.
If you don't disagree, you just vote no.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
I have a question. What if the person were to, what if they were to not pay dues? They were affiliated but did not pay dues. They were advocating for a group but they didn't pay dues.
That's
Does
what
that
she
make a
does.
difference?
I still believe we shouldn't be, if we are members of certain groups. I mean, if you're advocating and you're not a member at all, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Okay, all right, John?
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. This goes back 38 years ago when the city asked the chamber to take over Bike Week with the master plan. And the problem was that in order to do so, the money they took in, they split and gave it to the city commission. The city commission did not want to continue having people come up at the end of each meeting and ask for money. So in order to avoid people coming up and asking for money, they gave the commissioners the money from Bike Week Task Force, and the people would go to the commissioner to ask for the money. Then the commissioner then would put it on the agenda and it would be voted on. All right? It became a slush fund. And I've made a comment for 20, 30 years now that the commissioners were giving it to their church, giving it to their sorority, giving it to their school, to their alumni, and it became a very almost self-centered. It wasn't really much different from what they had done originally, except that Florida A&M didn't come down and ask for any money. Some of these places never came to ask for any money. They weren't local citizens asking for, like the ones we have now. I'm starting a group, I'm starting this, I'm starting that, would you give me some money? You've heard it for the last couple of months, years. So it's different. That's why I'm saying partisan is different. It's who you're choosing, one side or the other. So I've always disliked the slush fund because it stopped being locals asking for funding from their commissioners, and it became groups, churches, sororities, things of that nature. So I understand what she's talking about, but it also affects Ken. Ken, are you associated in any fashion with Our Lady of Lourdes? Does Our Lady of Lourdes...
I go there, John, but I am not a member.
Wait. But
We don't pay dues.
do you ask for funding for when they feed the police officers during Bike Week? Now, how many of you would find that offensive that he's giving money for hot dogs and hamburgers for our police officers? So it's a slippery slope. I understand what you're talking about. I've made a comment about it for years. But again, it's the unintended consequences. So I'm asking you to look at this very carefully before you vote for the unintended
If
consequences.
the
Thank you.
person belongs to the group, could they choose not to vote?
Churches are tax exempt. We shouldn't be giving money to churches in the first place. And I believe his is not through Lady of Lourdes.
Tax exempt, that's,
What is it? The barbecue?
Helping Hands.
Yes.
One thing is Helping Hands, the other thing is the barbecue fund, which is through Beachside Neighborhood Watch.
Correct.
So could the person recuse themselves and say, I belong to that, like as we do sometimes people have. I remember Ms. Traeger would recuse herself for properties. And so if they were to recuse themselves, everybody else could still vote, because I will say that we have many nonprofits. We have many nonprofits who do really good work for the community as a whole, right? So the person who is a member, would they be able to remove themselves from the vote? They could still put it in here, but the rest of us are voting on whether or not.
well, the good thing about all of this is that we don't get Bike Week funds anymore. So once this money is gone, it's gone. There's no more money to give to the community once it's all gone. So that's the silver lining in all of this, because the chamber is no longer giving us the money, right? We no longer get, we haven't gotten it in what, 2 years? So this is just money that was from before, and also it's also money that came from the federal government. So it's not actually city taxpayers' money. It was money that Joe Biden gave during COVID. So once the money is gone, it's gone. The motion is on the floor for the vote. Motion is on the floor. So
I just want to share one thing. I received a text today as the corresponding secretary, and it says, would you please add this to your report? These two students are recipients from Mainland that received our $1,000 scholarship, and their names are here for me to share with the membership. So we support our youth. We support programming in this community, and I see no reason why not. To contribute, whether I'm a member or
come
not.
up and speak?
Because my dues go towards dues. They don't go towards me or anything to benefit me.
Okay. We have another speaker.
Good Evening, Commissioners. 206 Shady Place. I just kind of wanted to write this down because I've listened to the comments. Commissioners, I need to be clear. Decisions about funding should be guided by policy, community impact, and documented needs, not personal preference or selective oppositions. If there are concerns about organizations receiving funds, these concerns should be raised with specific criteria and evidence, not generalized objections. We all have a responsibility to ensure equitable access to resources across the community, and that includes making decisions based on process rather than personalities. I'm open to substantive discussion grounded in facts and accountability, but not in dismissing organizations without a fair and transparent review. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, motion on the floor, take a vote, roll
Do
call
you want me
vote.
to do a roll call?
And my motion was, we cannot give money to any organization that we are a member of.
Did we want to take the vote tonight, or did we want Ben to research that?
I want to vote.
So this would be to approve it on first reading. I'll still need to prepare the ordinance and bring it back to you for second reading,
Okay,
which it sounds like would have to be, because of the advertising requirement, first meeting in July.
In July.
I'm sorry, I want Ben to research this because this isn't the first time that members on this dais have given funding to organizations they belong to. And I want to make sure that we're legally sound in making a decision and not have to come back and retract what we've stated.
Well, if it's coming back for second reading, it will already be on second reading. Is there a reason why we don't want to hear from the residents on second reading?
None whatsoever.
Okay.
yeah, none.
So, I mean, I don't think we can make any kind of ordinance we want up here, as long as it's not going against the law, and this is not going against the law.
We don't know that. Ben hasn't researched it.
No, it wouldn't violate the law
Yes.
to adopt this ordinance.
Okay.
You could adopt the ordinance.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and if it's coming back for two readings, we will hear from the citizens at the next commission meeting.
Agreed. Okay. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes. No.
okay, so we're voting on the motion to prohibit any commissioner from donating.
No, the motion is, I'm sorry, Tish, the motion would be for, that the commission will not approve donations to any organization whose membership includes any individual city commissioner.
Okay. You said it better.
No.
I'm trying to understand. So if I don't belong to anything, right, but the organization comes up, I don't belong to anybody here. So the organization comes up, the rest of us can still vote in favor of it?
No, this is a motion that says if you don't belong to it, but Commissioner Cantu does, the commission would not approve that donation.
So
The
any of
motion
us.
is if you are a commissioner that belongs to an organization, you cannot bring forward and donate money
Oh,
to.
from your fund.
Correct.
Oh,
But another
Okay.
commissioner could provide for the organization. You can't because you're a member. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what she's
okay,
saying.
I'm sorry, I was
I,
unclear. All
I,
right,
I didn't understand that. Thank you for the clarification.
Wait a minute.
Someone else can. Like,
That's
for
what I was
example, I'm a
wondering.
link.
That's what I was wondering.
So if Commissioner May would
Oh,
like to
okay.
donate to the link, she can because she's not a member. and it-
Okay.
Well,
All
so,
right.
so to be clear, there are no, you are not individually contributing. You are making recommendations that the governing body make a contribution. And so what the ordinance would prohibit you from recommending or sponsoring a donation to an organization that you're a member of.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, I think that was the key, that it is not an individual commissioner. Any funds that go out have to be approved by the elected body
As a whole.
in a public meeting and not an individual.
Okay.
Wait,
If I were a member of a group and Miss May wanted to give money to that group, am I not allowed to vote yes or no when that time comes?
According to how Commissioner Cantu clarified things, that it wouldn't affect your vote on that. However, I would encourage any of you individually that if you ever have a question over whether a proposed action that the commission might take might constitute an ethics violation for you, you give our office a call in advance and let us research that for you, or contact the commission on ethics directly.
Because anything over $100, you're supposed to report.
Well, that has to do with something being a gift law, but there's all kinds of ethics code provisions. So there are provisions prohibiting somebody from doing business with their own agency. There are provisions prohibiting people from voting when they have a conflict. So if you have one of those situations, I would encourage you, and you suspect that, there's reason to be concerned, to contact our office ahead of time.
And I have removed myself from 2 boards because I didn't want to recuse myself when donations were being given to them. The Howard Thurman House and MCDC. I removed myself from both of those boards so there wouldn't be any conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. Okay.
And I've been off of this board for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So the motion would be that a commissioner cannot recommend or sponsor to the entire commission a donation to an organization that commissioner is a member of. Is that correct, Commissioner
Correct.
Cantu?
Correct. And I want it as an ordinance, not a resolution, so we need 2 readings.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
If you're a member of an organization, you cannot present money or give money to that organization.
You
to the
couldn't
commission.
recommend that the commission
Give money.
give the donation.
You can recommend.
You could not recommend, because that's what's happening. If you
Correct.
look, for example,
Okay, I know you're trying to do the legal way, but everyone out there knows that each commissioner has a pot of money. It's not one big pot of the commission.
Well, legally what's
So I
happening-
know that's how you're putting it, but each commissioner has money. Except I think I'm like
No, I
broke,
won't
but,
after this.
But that's where you're trying to do the legal way. But we all know each commissioner almost like has a bank account, it seems like.
if that were true, this would not be coming to the commission for approval.
I understand.
Yeah.
But when you hear us up here, you hear them, oh, give me 500 out of mine. Give me 200 out of mine. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I know you're trying to keep everyone out of trouble, and I see you over there smiling, but I want the ordinance correct.
And so I think the legally correct way to draft the ordinance, and I'm only wanting to clarify this so that everybody is in agreement, and this is, your request. I want to make sure that we're in agreement. The request would be that no commissioner would sponsor or recommend or initiate a donation for the commission to approve when that commissioner is a member of the organization that would receive that donation, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
No.
Commissioner Paris.
Yes.
Commissioner Strickland.
No.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Commissioner Cantu.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry. No. Fails 3-3.
Figured.
Now we need to actually vote on item 8H.
I move that we accept item 8H as presented.
We have a motion from Commissioner Reed and a second from Commissioner Strickland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
No.
No.
It fails 3-3.
All right, we'll just bring it back.
So, if somebody, I'm just curious, what do you mean failed?
It failed again. It failed.
It fails.
fails.
If it's tied, it fails.
Yeah.
So what we're saying here is
All that money,
everything
yeah.
that's on here can't be done.
That's right.
That's right.
That's correct.
Well, thank
But
you
somebody
very
else could bring it back.
Or we can bring it back at the next meeting when we have our mayor here that can break the tie. That's our issue now. We don't have the 7 to break the tie.
Okay.
Shh, no comments from the audience, please.
So, we already did the consent agenda. We did these items. We are on item number 10. Sorry. We had no public hearings this evening, so we're going to move on to item 10, which is an introduction of an ordinance. Item 10A is Growth Management Planning Department Tree Preservation Land Development Code Text Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading for a city commission comments and questions only. An ordinance amending the Land Development Code relating to tree preservation, amending Article 4, 6, and 11 of the LDC to modify the requirements for landscaping, tree preservation, and mitigation, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? So hearing none, the public hearing and final action is set for June 17th. So we'll move on to item 10B. It's Growth Management Planning Department Affordable Housing Land Development Code Text Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the provisions of the Land Development Code relating to affordable housing, amending Section 6.22 of the Land Development Code to expand eligibility for affordable housing incentives and to authorize administrative approval of certain qualifying affordable housing development applications, except where public hearings are mandated by state law, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Hearing none, the public hearing and final action is set for June 17th. And that was our final agenda item before item number 12.
Okay. Comments and inquiries from the city commission?
Did we want to do 12A? Commissioner
12A?
Cantu?
We'll start with
Yes.
Commissioner Cantu.
Yes. Okay, so we said we would give an update after the Volusia County Elected Roundtable. That's where the county and 16 other cities are getting together and having meetings, what we can do about flooding and different things. One thing that was discussed there, which I think I brought it up when Commissioner Paris brought up the South Daytona, what they've done to help with their flooding is, which they've been working on, is a dashboard, and Shannon will tell you more about that, and it should be up running probably within the next couple months. Another thing is, we do have a unique system, and I know Commissioner Paris wanted to talk about the remaining money from the Army Corps engineer. And I agree with you. I don't think we should give any more money, but I know that's a commission decision. But $250,000 of that money was coming from the county, which we haven't received anyway. There is really, with the bad news that we received, there's really not much we can do in the Midtown area. What we can do is maybe, which I talked to the city manager about too, is we can maybe start budgeting somehow, just like Transform 386, they're buying out, and some of this money will be going back into Transform 386, so hopefully we do have some people in there that do want to sell the property. Which we can do is start budgeting every year and maybe buying out some of these properties that want to sell. Another thing is for like Fairway Estates is our golf course. There's 2 courses on there, and which that will cost money, and I'll let Shannon talk to you more about that as well, is doing some kind of retention pond, or, well, it wouldn't be a pond. Right. Which that's going to cost money as well. We did talk about some things with HOAs, because that's a big thing happening all over the county and all over the state, actually, where a lot of HOAs or HOAs that have dissolved, and they're not taking quick care of their systems, which is affecting a lot of the cities' systems or county systems as well. And I know next year in legislative session, they're going to be doing more work so cities have more control in counties over HOAs not taking care of their storm drainage. But it was mentioned, which the county just did recently, these HOAs that have dissolved, they actually really never do. The residents are stored the HOA. And so I know the county is getting ready to do, well, a special taxing district, which I talked to Ben about, and we can set and do special assessments where we can have them, we can take care of the property and have them pay for what needs to be done. So our storm drainage systems, they're not messing with ours as well. Which, Ben, can you give a little bit on that before I get Shannon up?
Well, legally, the city could impose a special assessment on the residents of the subdivision where that HOA is not active. It's within the law on special assessments, and basically we could then charge them a pro rata share of the cost of maintaining that facility in that case. There is one wrinkle, though. Typically, those facilities are legally on property that's in the name of the HOA as property owner. So in a given case, we'd probably have to go to court to get the court to give us authority to go on the property, but there's a way to do that.
But we can do it.
Yes, yes.
And I'm just going to give you an example of, this is, can you put those pictures up? This was a retention pond over off Bevel Road in Public Shopping Center. Since 1980s, that's what it looked like, pretty much, because no one knew who was responsible for that. And let me tell you, I don't give up easy. Over a year and a half trying to figure this out, working with, and I have connections with DEP, St. John's, Bobby Ball, the engineer. I think he said he was in 5th grade. But thanks to David Waller's department, a female finally figured out who was responsible for this, and it went with the property. Can we show pictures? And this is them working on it. And then go ahead, next one. That was over the weekend. I was so excited. I went up there while it was raining. It stopped when I got out and took the picture. But I was actually watching it actually work. And it's a big difference. And we have those kind of properties all over, and that's what's happening in some of these HOAs too, that are not taking care of their property, that I think we need to start doing something, because they're complaining to us, but it's actually them that, that needs to be taking care of it. So I want to get you up. Oh, and thanks to Code too. They did a lot.
Can you guys put the PowerPoint up? I'm gonna go through some of this quickly because it's a repeat, and we've all heard this. So as everyone knows, our Army Corps study is being canceled prematurely because we're not compliant with an engineering requirement. The Nova Canal doesn't have the 800 CFS of capacity that is required during a 10-year storm event. It's only got half of that, so that is the reason it's being canceled prematurely. In addition, they're also saying, the Army Corps is saying that the benefit to cost ratio is, in their preliminary calculations, is less than 1, which means the project doesn't break even. The benefits don't equal the cost. So even if we weren't canceling it early for the engineering requirement, it would be canceled because of the BCR. So having said that, they are going to provide us with a findings report. They're saying this findings report will be completed at the end of year 2026, so this December. We're going to get our hydraulic models that they've been working on for the last 2 years. And they are going to model a couple of scenarios. They're going to model, in the area of concern, increasing pipe sizes and adding a pump to pump out to the river to see if that makes a difference. They're going to model some sluice gates and some pumps on the outfall canals to the Nova Canal, which is LPGA, Reed Canal, and Halifax Canal. All of those canals exist in other cities. They're not within our city. And they're going to see what kind of benefit that has. And they're also going to model those same outfall sluice gates with pumps and also add a golf course component to see if we could build storage on the golf course and pump the water from the Midtown area, like the Butts Park, and also the Fairway Estates area, Holloway Place, and Woodcliff Estates, to see what benefit that provides. They're going to provide us some high-level costs, including design costs, and they're going to provide what those benefit to cost ratios are for each one of those scenarios. So at that time, when we get this information, we staff will present the findings with all the costs to the commission, and we will pursue any alternative that you guys request if funding is available. And also any alternative that it has improvements outside of the city limits, we'll have to partner with the other municipalities as well as DOT for the Nova Canal and share those costs, since those improvements would benefit the entire region, not just Daytona Beach. In addition to that study, we have a concurrent study going on that was funded through the county with the Volusia Transform 386 program. It's a citywide watershed management plan. It also has a hydraulic model associated with it. This modeling will give the city the tools to be able to look at smaller projects throughout the city. If we want to see if upsizing a pipe makes a difference, we now will have a tool to see if that's a cost-effective improvement. So we have that. We're working. We're going to be, since the Army Corps has been prematurely canceled, we're going to get this consultant to also look at a scenario on the golf course to see what their findings are, to see if that's a beneficial idea. And again, once we get these alternatives, we'll actually have the consultant come back and present those findings to you guys. And I will say that the county and all the other municipalities we've been talking with, and our hope is, because they have 28 studies going on throughout the county, that we can find some projects, because all of us are in this Nova Canal Basin, that we can find some projects that make sense, that benefit the entire region, and we can share those costs. Never had that ability in the past because we've never had all of these studies being performed at the same time. So that's a benefit. I'm sorry, is this clicker? I'm not even clicking through this. Okay, so the stormwater, I want to give you guys a snapshot of what the statistics on our stormwater system is. This is how much infrastructure that our staff has to maintain. We have 128 miles, almost 129 miles of pipes. We've got 55 inlets. We've got manholes, we've got tide flex valves, we have 37 miles of ditches and swales and open channels that we have to mow and remove sedimentation. We have 257 outfalls into various water bodies. We have 6 pumping stations, and then we have the bypass pumps that we put out during emergency events. So having said that, to date, for this fiscal year, we are on track to complete almost 70 linear feet of stormwater main inspection and cleaning. That equates to almost 13 miles for 2026. That is like 10% of our system. And so when you think about it, to get through the entire system, it's a 10-year program, okay? We do go to problematic areas more often. We have to check the areas that we know are flood prone. We check more frequently. So that's all included in this. This is just what we've done this year. We've got almost 9,000 of CIPP lining, which is cleaning the pipe, inspecting the pipe, and also lining it, rehabilitating it. We've cleaned 40,000 linear foot of ditches. We've taken out 1,500 yards of material. And as far as mowing the ditches, we've 271,000 linear feet have been mowed to date with city staff. And that's the total yardage removed from basins. Everybody keep in mind, when we do inspections, if there's not debris to be taken out, then we don't take it out. These are inspections and cleaning as necessary. So that's what city staff has done. I will say that we've got 3 consultants under contract right now that we are trying to utilize to get ahead of it and do more and make it more of a robust inspection and cleaning program. Now, this is about the dashboard that Commissioner Cantu mentioned. It has three modules in it, and their IT or GIS department is developing this. They've got a project module where they're showing all of the projects that are countywide that have received funding through Volusia Transform 386. So that's going to be in that module. We've got all the studies shown throughout the county in a stormwater studies module. And then they are proposing to have a maintenance module. And this is going to be a public-facing dashboard, so the public will be able to go online and look at the city and see what the city has done in regards to maintenance. And that module is going to lag behind the other 2 for a while because the cities are working together to try to figure out how that format's going to work, the schedule's going to work. And so that one will probably be kind of still under construction when the initial rollout of this dashboard happens. So moving on. So about the HOAs and the private property. We do have challenges. We get called out a lot in I call them newer subdivisions, although some of them are still rather decades old, but they have their own stormwater management ponds. They have control structures that need to be maintained. And they call the city out because in many cases we own the pipes and the inlets in the roadways. But they're not maintaining the ponds and the outfalls. So in those cases, water can back up into our pipes. We really need that maintenance to be performed before we can even, we'd have to pump all the water out of the pipes just to inspect them. So we're, as possible solutions, in addition to creating special assessment districts, those would be in areas where people are just kind of not willing to perform. We're thinking that maybe some of these places may not even know that they are responsible for certain things. So our department does have a GIS layer that has all of the subdivisions on it, and we have plats, attached plats and easements and maintenance agreements that we use in-house. I've been looking at this layer, and some of it is, they're scanned documents that aren't real legible, so we probably need to go in and clean it up and make sure that all of the copies are something that if we were able to show this to the public, they could go on to see, what their responsibilities are. We can try to highlight the actual notes on the plat that shows the maintenance responsibility. And so we feel like maybe that could be a public education outreach that we could provide, and then, send this out. Maybe I don't have all of the contacts to the HOAs, but I'm sure somebody does, and we could get that, and we could share that information with them. And then the special assessment districts could be limited to maybe the ones that are problematic, because that's a whole different kind of animal. So that's kind of my thought process on that, but it would be nice to get everything cleaned. I think we're going to find that the first cleaning in many of these areas is going to be very expensive because it hasn't been done. So there probably is going to be some sticker shock at the first time around. So, and then our recommendations to residents, especially the ones that live in these flood-prone areas, is to make sure you have flood insurance on your structure. Consider flood-proofing your structure. We have a PowerPoint that gives options to homeowners for flood-proofing, and we have the scan code, which I can provide anybody this PowerPoint if they're interested. And if there's a need to get the consultant to come back, who is very knowledgeable in this, and do another public presentation, we're happy to do that as well. And then as Commissioner Cantu said, if there was a way to possibly come up with an annual buyout program, that would be fabulous. The conditions for a program such as that would have to be established with the help of the commission as to how we would want to do it, because we wouldn't be able to purchase very many homes every year. So we'd kind of have to have an idea of how it would be structured. But in those areas that flood, like the Midtown area and the Fairway Estates area, the only way to truly know that they're not going to flood is to remove them from the floodplain. Unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at, unless for some miracle we come up with I don't even think you're going to come up with an option that's going to fix everything. You may get some benefit, maybe save some homes with any kind of flood project, but you're not going to save them all. Some of them are just way too low. So that's really all I have. If anyone has any questions.
I have another question.
Sure.
We also have problems with like properties like the picture I showed, just not HOAs. And Ben, is that something that, I know that one was hard, but those, if we can find out who actually owns them, we can have code like Denzel did. He did a wonderful job getting that cleaned up. So
Yeah, the code does, the land development code does require property owners to maintain their approved stormwater drainage systems. And if they fail to do that, the code provides the city various kinds of remedies.
But we have another property right now that I know about over in Indigo.
Indigo, yeah.
And have you looked at that at Indigo?
Kira's looked at it with us. It's an old easement that there's like 7 separate easements on the same easement. It's very old, and it was confusing to even figure out what the easements were saying. But Kira's got those, and we understand what it is, but it's one of those where one property owner has to do the work and then bill other property owners. And it doesn't appear that anybody's ever maintained it.
I think that's something we could maybe have code look at as well.
Yeah, we'll look at
because I know the county has contacted me about that as well, and I know they're all over you, the residents too, and it just keeps getting passed back and forth. So we do need help on that one.
Yep.
And you're gonna send.
I'm going to send you all that information tomorrow.
Too,
yeah.
So.
Yep.
Shannon, when you go to look at the drains, under what conditions do you actually vacuum them out? I know you check them, but when do you start to suck out? I've gone and looked at some. I've seen plants. We've removed them.
So down in the Beach Street area and in some areas in Midtown, those pipes stay submerged with water a lot of the time, obviously because they're impacted by the river. Those are harder for us. It takes more time because you have to take the water out of you got to plug it at one end, take the water out and inspect it. So you're not moving as fast. So we're going to utilize to make that quicker in that area to kind of get a broad look at what we're dealing with. We're going to get our contractor to do those. They've got more equipment, and they'll move faster in that area. Okay. But they have several different ways. If the pipes are dry, they have a tethered camera that they send down the pipe.
Okay. When there's sludge in there.
Well, in stormwater pipes, you mostly are going to find like sand and debris like that, like leaves or stuff like that, or litter if people are putting stuff down the drains. I wouldn't necessarily call it sludge, but it's stuff that you have to remove.
Right.
They're checking the outfalls down on Beach Street. I know we have.
I was thinking Midtown. I've got some newer areas in the new parts of Zone 6.
Okay.
But when I peek in there, I'm like, it's a totally dry day, but there's a lot of leaves in there. There's just sludge. If I go right after a rain, it's receded, but it looks muddy.
Muddy.
Yeah.
Well, they will take that out when they go to inspect those. But
do you have a schedule of where you're going to be?
Yes, actually, I do. I have a stormwater report right here that our deputy field manager put together, and they have areas that they're working on throughout the city right now.
Exactly.
So
could you email that to us, please?
Yes, I can send this to everyone, and you guys can take a look at it. And we will be putting this maintenance on that dashboard with the county. So in the future, once it gets all set up, it'll all be in there so people can see it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner May, where were these findings in Zone 6?
No, zone 3.
You said 6.
No, well, it's former 6, new 3. Right?
Okay.
New 3?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So when I was going along Jefferson Street, they always have flooding on that street. And then also along, I want to say along Jefferson Street as I extended it down, there aren't very many drains in some places, but closer to MMB, those ones. Yeah.
And we do, whenever anybody has a inquiry or complaint, our guys go right out and look at it.
You know where else? Palm Place on Beach Street. Palm Place, Gardner area, South
Yes,
Beach Street
that
area.
that area is a very low area,
Right.
and so every time it rains, especially if we go through a dry area, a dry time, anything when it rains real hard, all the debris just runs to the inlets and it gets in. Like every time it rains. So usually the first big rain of the season, and I think we had one like last week, right? So we, after each rain event, they do go out and make sure at least all of they scour the whole city and make sure that there is at least nothing on the tops of the inlets to make sure that if another rainstorm comes, at least the inlets will have capacity from getting the water into it. But, with a system this large, we're limited with staff, so it's not like we can be at every inlet all the time. It's just not.
So what can the residents do to help themselves?
Well, we do have that Adopt a Drain program, and that is what we're asking residents to do in that situation, is just to scrape the, with a broom or not broom, but a rake or something away, get off the grate and bag it, and so that the debris doesn't go into the inlets. We also have street sweepers that do a great job. Public Works runs street sweepers, and that helps to keep the sand and so forth out of the inlets. But it's just one of those things, when we have bad weather, stuff's going to get in.
I want to add a new street to your list, Mobile on Beachside.
Okay.
With the last 2 deluges that we had, they received extra. And I was actually looking at the drains over there, and I have somebody there who's cleaning them, a resident there. But if you look inside.
Okay. So Jefferson, Palm Place, and Mobile.
Yeah.
Got it.
And Gardner.
And Gardner.
That one's really bad.
Yeah, Gardner actually has a pump station there, so our guys are there a lot.
I just want to thank you and your team yesterday for answering the questions. You did bring up a lot of these things. I think the regional approach was the best and smartest way we could all come together, because I know that water doesn't have a zip code. And I think we're going to need a regional approach to even funding wise. So
Yes.
Thank you for that. The other thing was Adopt a Drain program. So I was on social media, which is a very scary place sometimes, but people were saying, why do we have to adopt a drain? And you just proved how much stormwater maintenance that's being done with mowing the ditches, looking at all the main lines. So residents, please, it's very simple to just, maybe if you see a palm frond, move it out of the way for the drain, because it could cause a big problem. Another thing is, I've noticed a lot of times right before hurricanes in my area, a lot of people like to start trimming their trees, and then they leave the brush outside of their home, and it may be on a Wednesday, and they're like, today's yard day. They're not going to come right when a hurricane is coming, so just please be mindful. I know sometimes we don't have a choice, so if something like that does happen, to contact Public Works to let them know that you do have something, to see if there is a way that they could come pick it up. Another thing is also the landfill usually allows you to bring the debris there and not charge you. So like I said, just be mindful of that as well. And then also the flood-proof options that are available. Can we work with maybe communications to push that out on
Sure.
our social media so people know about it if we haven't
Absolutely.
done so already? And the other thing was, I know we're always talking about benefit to cost ratios. A lot of times we do a lot of things in the city that we approve and we're not looking at benefit to cost ratio. So maybe we can make some exceptions if projects do come before us on helping the residents more. I guess,
That's
and-
totally up to
yeah.
you guys.
And my other question was about now, how do we move forward with voting on if we're going to be providing that extra money to the Army Corps? Does that come on an agenda or is it?
We haven't given the Army Corps any money.
Okay, so are we not doing it? I'm sorry, what?
Well, we,
Okay, so moving forward, it's not going to come out, right?
correct.
Correct.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on it, do we?
No.
We don't. Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Shannon. Okay, Mr. Fietro, you're up.
Yes, we've had numerous conversations in reference to code enforcement, how people are able to review some of the code enforcement information. And so Denzel Sykes is going to come out and he's talked about with some commissioners during their agenda reviews some of the major issues that have been discussed. And so I wanted him to present to you all, based off of some requests from some elected officials, the process for how people can review their code cases and not always have to just wait, that there's a process online that makes it very easy, and for him to be able to respond to any questions you all have about any particular code cases.
Good evening. My name is Denzel Sykes. I'm the Code Compliance Manager. And like Mr. Fager said, I'm here to show you our IMS reporting program for code compliance. Xavier, if you would, please, you put up the movie. Yes. So what he's going to show you now is a movie, step-by-step process of how you file a complaint on the IMS program. And I also have, so for the people in the audience, I have some hard copies in the lobby for you. And
the
for
city of Daytona Beach.
Hold on a second. And for the commissioners, I have PowerPoint, this video for you as well. All right. And then I answer questions.
To the City of Daytona Beach website at this link and click the department's banner at the top. Click Code Compliance.
And I have it going slow so you can pay attention.
Click Report a Violation. Click Register as a new user. Click the full name field and enter your name. Click the email field and enter your email. Click the password field and enter a password of your choice. The password must include at least 6 characters, including 1 special character, 1 number, 1 uppercase letter, and 1 lowercase letter. Click the Confirm Password field and re-enter your chosen password.
Can you stop right there? So where that place is, that's just registering to use the website. So what he's going to do now is going to move forward to you logging in and actually filing a complaint. Go ahead.
Register. Next, go to the email account you entered during registration and open the email from donorreply@cobe.us. Once the email is open, click Validate. Once the IMS website opens, please click here to log in. Click the email field and enter the email you provided at registration. Click the password field and enter your chosen password. Click Login. Click the full name field and enter your name. Click the street address field and enter your home address. Click the city field and enter your city. Click the state field and select your state. Click the zip field and enter your zip code. Click the phone number field and enter your phone number. Click Save.
Stop. So what just happened is with the July 2021 law that passed, you cannot report any code violations anonymous. So you had to give your contact information. So that's what that was. Please continue.
Click Submit Code Complaint. Click the Find Address field and enter the address you're with to make a complaint about. Select the parcel, not address, that matches the address you typed in. Click Next. Click the Brief Description or Case Name field and enter a short description of the issue. Example, parking on lawn, trash around home, rental without permit. Click the Complaint Details field and enter a description of the issue. Example, parking on the lawn all day Monday and Tuesday, trash around the home, along with a junk car on the side of the home. Click Next. Click Submit.
So with the video.
Once you
so we
see
want-
complaint
if you could stop
submitted.
the video, I think we have the gist of the video. We wanted to really just focus on the couple of the key code areas and make sure that the video stays on the site as well. And so go to the next portion of the presentation.
Okay, so if you would, please, would you give me the slide, which is the same thing, but you'll see it and you see it better, and I can explain it for you. And one of the advantages of having this program is that it's front-facing, it's immediate for the public. A lot of times, and we continue to get phone calls, we continue to get emails, and sometimes things fall through the crack. It's not on purpose, it's just how things are sometimes. Our intentions are well. But if you use our system, the IMS system, and put the information in, what happens is it's immediately assigned to an inspector and it becomes part of their workspace. And once it's part of their workspace, they will go out in their rounds while they're out in their areas and either get with me if it's a concern of theirs, or they will go out and inspect the complaint. And the advantage also is that we have permits and licensing that's it's front faces, as well as contractors, anything like that. They can submit paperwork on this program. And also a lot of times we get residents who call concerned that the neighbor or business next door does not have a permit for some work here. You can look at it at your leisure. If you're passing by in your car and you see it, once you get home, you can pull it up. You don't have to wait for a business day to call us or to email us and wait for a response from us in order to get that. And we have been pushing this out ever since it rolled out, I believe in 22, if I'm not mistaken. And also along with this, we also use C-Click Fix, which is something similar, but it's a phone app. Right now, are there any questions before I continue?
Yeah, I do. First of all, Denzel, I just want to say thank you. You've helped me down Bevel Road, Walmart, that retention bond. I mean, I really want to say thank you. You did a good job, great job there. Great job. Tired. There is a couple of things I wanted to ask you. One was I'm getting complaints, and I think all the commissioners are getting complaints from one email and it's mostly in my zone, and it's LPGA, Williamson, Timber Creek. Those are all county roads, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and it's regarding stick signs all the time. Now, I just want this on record,
Okay.
that the county is responsible, not the city, but you guys have helped out on occasion and Public Works mode, but picking up stick signs
Correct.
and everything. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to have it on record because it's constantly. And then the other thing, I do have one complaint. I know I could call you tomorrow, but since you're already here, is I keep getting, by two individuals, residents, they keep calling me about campaign signs being out already. And I know on our land development code, they're not supposed to be out. So is there any way that we can take a look around and get rid of any campaign signs that are on city right-of-ways?
Okay, I can be corrected if I misspeak here, but I believe that we did away with typical different signs. I think a sign is a sign, and based on that, a sign cannot be in an area for 100, I believe it's 100 consecutive days. So it doesn't matter if it's a campaign sign, personal sign, sales sign. But again, if I'm wrong,
No, that's true, but actually, Commissioner Cantu, I heard you refer to public roads.
Right away.
Right away.
right away is something.
Yes.
Well, that's the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's a campaign sign or not. If it's on a right of way, it shouldn't be there, so we'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't allow
Yeah.
campaign signs on the right of way.
No signs.
Right.
Okay. Because I keep getting complaints. There's signs down Ridgewood. I haven't actually taken a look.
Okay.
And there's signs up and down, I think it was Beach Street too.
Okay.
And I know that my neighborhood goes by the same rules about campaign signs being out within, I actually forgot. What is it, 100 days?
60 days before the election.
When is it? 100, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, if you can take a look at that, I appreciate it.
Will
But
do.
thank you. You're doing a great job every time I call.
Any other questions?
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. The big one for me is Helm Street and the foot court area. Could you just give me an update on that, please?
Okay, so Helm Street and the foot court area, actually that's the same area for the ones who don't know. And we had a cold case there. If you could put the pictures up, I appreciate it. We had a complaint about pallets. So it was a private business initially. And the pallets were stacked. I don't know, this is today, so that it's clear today. On the pallets was stacked.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, stop right there, please. So this is what we wrote up. And
Oh, yeah.
he refused to remove the pallets. He refused to, he was very defiant.
When I drove there, the resident called me. I stopped, and I immediately called.
Yes.
I immediately called the city attorney, and I said, please come and take a look at this. You have to see this to believe this, and this is not acceptable at all. And he did come down and take a look at it, and it is bad. It was bad, so thank you.
Yes.
Well,
So,
I'm sorry, just to be clear, as soon as we saw that, we put on the agenda, and you all approved this, authorization for us to file an action to, enjoin that. So that's
Just imagine.
that's been to court.
it's his business, and he sells them, rents them, trades them. So fast forwarding, so what we had to do, he did not adhere to the magistrate when he came before the magistrate to try to work with him. He just really told us he wasn't going to do anything. So we came before you. You authorized us and legal department to go seek an injunction. We went to court, and I would tell you that even in court, he was defiant, and he let the judge know only because you telling me I'm doing it. So, and this is one of the things that we run to time to time in code enforcement. A lot of times we get calls that we're not doing anything, but we don't cut the grass, we don't remove the vehicles, so we really rely on the residents and the business owners to come into voluntary compliance for us. If not, we have to take measures. In this case, this is what it looks like today. So he is complying with the judge's orders. So this is on the back side, this is the front, this is actual foot court. And there's one more, and that's the only thing remains is vehicle there. And like I said, I took those today,
Okay.
so you can see the difference.
Can you stay on that picture for me? It's fantastic. I drive through there periodically just to check, and sometimes he leaves pallets on the opposite side of Helm Street. There's a house on the corner. He'll leave pallets on that side of the street, right by her sidewalk, and she's got 2 little kids there. It's piled high,
Right,
very dangerous. So see that residence right there? So explain to me from a code perspective, what is our policy on if it's a rental property, if they're rental properties or apartments? Do we do inspections on those things at all?
No, we don't. Right now, our rental program is the fact that they need to call the office, tell us that they want to rent. We do a review, and if they pass the review, if they're eligible to rent, then we tell them they need to register their property. They pay a fee, and that's it. Now, on the backside of that, we do have a component where they can voluntarily ask for an inspection.
Oh,
But it's not mandated.
So the owner would voluntarily, or the tenant?
No, the owner. The tenant has no rights when it comes to the rental part
And this
or the registration.
This was a code provision that we brought forward in the last 2 years after the legislature amended the statutes to prohibit local governments from adopting or enforcing local regulations that interfere with the landlord-tenant relationship. And we had been given notice by an attorney under our registration program indicating that they intended to file suit to have a court declare our code invalid as preempted by that legislation. And we looked at the case, and we agreed that a court may end up finding our ordinance to be invalid. He would have been entitled to attorney's fees. That's why we revised the code. I think it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
To make the inspection voluntary.
I guess the tenant has to complain.
Correct. Or for the interior. But if we pass by and we see something on the exterior, we can still write it up.
Okay.
And we will.
All right. How do we get code walks done? So for example, if we have an area, do you have any code walks planned, anything like that? Do you have an area that if we said, hey, we're having some issues, let's say it's beachside, we're having some issues on beachside in this area, do you do an entire section?
Yeah, so right after Bike Week, I had my rapid response team go down Main Street area, and they did some things there. But in addition to that, next month, July, we have what we call a staff walk, and it's going to be from Earl Street to East ISB, from the river to the sands.
Okay.
And that's going to involve all staff, different departments, and doing it like that, it's going to be all inclusive, because a lot of times our code guys may go out and see something, not realizing that it might be an issue for planning or something that Public Works should be looking at. So we're going to have all departments part of that walk.
Okay. And then on Ocean Avenue, do we have a code case, an ongoing code case right now? Ocean Avenue, the parking lot, we said yes. How many violations were there on that property?
Which one?
A parking lot, the Ocean Ave, the George Anderson property?
Yes, there's an open code case.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. And then what about, and so we're using the other property, so there's nothing happening there.
Correct.
Okay. I need a definition of something, just so that people understand process. Let's say I call every single year. I have a home, and someone files a complaint against me every single year for, let's say, 7 years. Is that considered a nuisance property?
Calling once a year?
Once a year?
No.
Yeah, no. Okay, how many times a year does a property have to be out of compliance where we're using resources? I guess, what does nuisance property mean?
Well,
what does that mean?
for me, a nuisance property is going to be a property or a property owner who ties up the time of staff going to either their properties or their property. And there's going to be frequent. So it's not really a number because we have some property owners who have multiple properties, but once we hit the address, we already know who owns it because we're always going to their properties. So those are we deem nuisance properties.
What if it's the same offense each time? So something is broken or whatever it is on the outside, they fix it, it breaks again, but it's the same thing over and over again. And they come into compliance, and then the same thing happens again 2 months later.
2 months later?
Yeah, let's say 2 months later. Still okay.
If it's every 2 months or 3 months, yeah, then that becomes a problem. That will become a nuisance. And then what we'll probably do, once we come to the code board or the magistrate, we will ask for something what we call a repeat designation, which means if he does it again, then we'll just bring him right back to hearing and final. We won't give him an opportunity to repair.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you for all the help. So I just want to know, do you want us to use that system instead of calling you if we have issues? Because I have, some residents, I try to explain to them that there is a state law, but they're still afraid that, they're going to get retaliation from their neighbors, but the request is, viable. It's not like they're making things up. So do you want us to put it through the system?
It's most transparent if it goes through the system. Okay. And if anyone has any issues, staff down at Code Compliance is more than willing to help.
Okay.
So can we do it for the resident? I've got some residents, I'll tell you, listening to that, within the first 3 or 4 minutes, I was like,
When we see it, as long as we see a name and contact information, okay. That's all
also,
the system has.
It said address and parcel number or parcel?
No, when it was saying parcel number, that's when you actually are identifying where the complaint is.
Okay, that's what I thought it was parcel was a number, but no. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. I'll be
Thank you,
calling
Mr.
for my
Sykes.
Zone 6 review.
Excuse me?
I'll be calling for my Zone 6 review. I haven't written in a while.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Also, I didn't know if you all wanted to hear any information about the property tax that's going on the agenda to see how much we would lose. I did have the information that could be provided if you wanted to. If not, we could wait to another meeting. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait to the next meeting, and we did add 12C from Commissioner Paris to the agenda.
So I wanted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing. So if that actually does get signed, I guess we need to start looking at what we can cut.
But that's why I said I did actually have a...
Yeah, but it wouldn't start to actually 2028.
Yeah. So.
Okay, Commissioner Paris,
But
sorry.
that should be taken into account when we're doing our budget. So when
Next meeting. Next meeting.
So I wanted to bring up Peninsula Drive. I know it's a state road. I don't know if you guys have been getting any complaints, but after all of the repaving that's been done on A1A, I know it was a state initiative to do all of A1A. I have a lot more residents contacting me now asking me, why hasn't anything been done with Peninsula? So there's multiple depressions in the road. There's I don't know if it would be safety issues, but I've contacted utilities a bunch of times to let them know about water main breaks that they have addressed, but it's all patched up. I know we've been waiting for, I guess, the state and the county to switch the jurisdiction for, excuse me? I know, so what's happening, because my residents want to know, so I would like to ask the commission if we could formally ask the TPO to look at this road for improvement.
I can ask, but the TPO is not the place to do that, pretty much. I mean, I can ask, because right now the state and the county are still in negotiation. I've been hearing this for 3 years now, but I can call someone and ask them if you can send pictures or whatever you're talking about to Mr. Fiacher. I can call DOT, but
I mean, pictures is,
but
I would take
the
a video from,
the TPO is not something that happens overnight. That's like a long range plan
Okay.
that you plan ahead.
I understand. So that's why I would like the TPO to be formally made aware of this, because it does run from Port Orange, Daytona Beach Shores, and Daytona Beach. And we have multiple depressions in that road. It's like running on a roller coaster. I've asked multiple times to find out what the status is of the road. I understand that they're waiting to do the switchover, but at the same time, the road is not being serviced. Is there a process that we provide roads that we want for consideration? No, so when you go to TPO, they just tell you what they're going to do. You don't suggest any roads?
Like I said, I will bring it up, but it's not something we can just tell them they got to do. The state does their own thing, just like Mason Avenue. I have lived here all my life almost. This is the first time I've ever seen them do anything on Mason Avenue.
Okay.
Am I right?
Well, how does the process work? Do we as a commission listen to our residents?
I just told you.
Oh. I'm asking you what the process is.
I'm telling you, whatever you have, whatever complaints, whatever area, please let me know, and I will call FDOT, and ask what we can do about it, that we're getting complaints.
Okay, so but we cannot put it on as a request? When you go to TPO, do you ask them request roads to be done? I'm trying to find out.
Andy's not here anymore, but I guess David can explain that. Yes, we can put in a request, but we have a request for the second phase of Mason Avenue too. And when you usually put in a request, you have to have a match as well.
Okay, so can we find out what it is?
Yeah, but you don't understand. You want something now?
No, I don't want it now, but I would like it to be acknowledged that there is an issue with the road.
Okay. Is David still here?
I'm not sure if David Waller is still back there.
Okay. I will
He's coming.
David, will you be able to explain how you put in a request to TPO, and TPO is not someone that will be funding, I don't know how to explain it, the entire...
TPO doesn't fund resurfacing programs. So what you're talking about is just a regular maintenance activity run for the district, out of the land office, and we'll reach out to them and express concerns. You've got specific blocks that are a bigger concern, we can express those, or we can have them look at the whole corridor. But they have a resurfacing program just like we do for the entire District 5, and that roadway sections is in their program.
Well, this road, they have certain intersections that have a depression of at least 4 inches. I don't think this is just a resurface. I think this road needs attention. If you drive it, I'm sure you have staff that's driven that road and could tell you how bad it is.
We'll ride it. We'll identify areas that we think may have some infrastructure issues. We'll make sure it's not ours. We have water and sewer on that road that are our pipes, and the state has drainage pipes that belong to them. And we'll contact our maintenance department to see if where they can fit in some work on that road.
So would it be Daytona Beach doing it, or would it be FDOT?
It would be FDOT.
FDOT.
And the only reason to be Daytona Beach is if we have a pipe that we own that's creating the depression, then we would repair the pipe and then patch the section that we impacted.
And can you give us a section? Because
Roslyn, Windmere.
Wait a minute, let me write this down.
I emailed it to David already. He has it. So
David, will you email me those roads she's talking about,
Yeah,
so I can call Kara and have them, thank you.
Excuse me, sir. You mentioned FDOT. Are they ever going to complete Atlantic A1A? It's been that way over a year. They're still not through with it. Still have lane blockage every day, different places. It would be nice to know if they even have a timeline on that, because our whole tourist season last year, that road was torn up, and here we are again.
They are actively working on it. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head.
Not near as many people as
Happy
was working
to-
on it when they messed it up, when they did their first thing on it.
I know, they're winding down most of the road work. I mean, they're working on intersection signal work. They're working on signage. They're working on some of those curb repairs, and then at the end they'll do a mill and resurface of the rest of the roadway. I don't know I don't know what their contract period is, but the project extended significantly time-wise to remove at the city's request, in a large part, and the residents' request, they removed a lot of work that they'd already done, and that extended the length of the project pretty significantly.
And increase the cost quite a
Absolutely.
bit, I'm sure.
Time is money.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
David, I'm sorry, one more thing. US 1, because they were supposed to start work also on US 1 this year, weren't they?
Yeah,
is that
US
what it's
1
called?
has a project. I think its north boundary is somewhere just north of Fairview, and it runs south, I think all the way to, may run all the way to Bevel Road.
Bevel, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a resurfacing with some, it's one of the triple R projects. It's got some sidewalk improvements, a little bit of,
Do we have a date?
not off the top of my head, but it is funded for this year.
For this
Yeah,
year,
yeah, it
right?
was this
Okay.
year, yeah.
Could you find out and let us know?
Actually,
Thank you.
I might have that
You know
date.
that one?
I might, yeah. Thought it was in September, but I might be wrong. This ain't it. Of this year? Oh, funding, but yeah, it's not, she's asking when it's gonna start. It's not gonna start. Yeah. I can bring that back. I do have that at home. And I believe on that Peninsula road that you're talking about, which that's been in the work forever, I don't know what's going on with the holdup, but it's not the county holding up trading the road, it's DOT that I was told. And I don't even think that they're trading out that road is anywhere in Daytona. It's not, it's Port Orange. So the county, the swap they're doing is in Port Orange, closer to Dunlawton than Daytona. Did you know that?
Isn't it only like maybe a mile?
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
mile
not-
for mile for what they're taking at LPGA.
Right.
I'm not
Okay.
sure.
And it says Dunlawton actually.
State owns from ISB to Dunlawton. I thought it was the entire stretch, but it's mile for mile. It's a match of what they're taking on LPGA.
But I don't even know when the county said, right, and the state's not doing anything. That's what I'm saying. You just can't tell the state to come in and, am I correct on that?
You could ask though, right?
We can ask.
Okay.
I
That's-
ask all the
that's-
time.
That's all I'm asking, if you could ask. Find
Just
out
like
for
my
the
pine
residents.
trees, I was, how long, a year? The pine trees off the overpass. I
Okay.
just finally got those done, you know what I mean? How long I've been asking.
Okay. All right.
You finished with your
I can conclude my comments.
Okay.
Not comments, but this.
Your presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Then we start with Commissioner Reed.
Okay, that's right.
All right, Madam Vice Mayor, I respectfully request that my funds be placed back on the agenda for the next meeting, Mr. Manager. And also, could I have a balance of whatever I have left in my mayoral funds, as well as I think I had about $700 left in my bike week funds. I'm going to exhaust both of those and just be done with funds. Okay? And then I need a point of clarification. Now, we have attempted twice to do redistricting, right? And both times we've been sued and we've had to go back. So when we say go back, are we going back to the original zones we had or going back to the second?
The ordinance that the ordinance that we adopted most recently is currently in effect.
Yeah, what does that mean?
The ordinance that we adopted
Map C?
in 2025 is in effect.
Map C or something like
So
that.
that's the first
That's the
redistricting.
second redistricting ordinance.
So it's in effect.
It is in
Although we were-
effect.
although we were sued.
We've been sued,
Okay, so it's in effect.
but the result of that lawsuit is ongoing.
Okay,
And-
so this should be my third map, because my first map is the one I've had since I've been here. We did redistricting, so that was the first map we were sued for, and now we're on the second map, and we're using that map.
My understanding is that if you want a zone map reflecting your current zone boundaries, that Public Works can provide that to
And
you.
they've done that. I just want to make sure it's
Okay.
the right map. I'm just getting clarification.
I have Indigo again,
Okay. All right.
if that helps you.
Ugh.
I have MLK east side down.
Yes, you have east.
Okay.
I have west.
Okay, and then as we head down MLK, once we get to, let's say, George Ingram, I
you're going
have
that
the
way.
right side of George. I have North George Ingram, all the way up to Walker and Arthur. That's why I'm telling you about those areas in Avery. I have all the way
Okay.
up there.
Now, I've been told that's not correct, because people were wondering how were you knocking on their doors when they thought they should have been Ken's. So I don't know.
So we should probably find out.
Yeah,
The-
we should
I
find
have
out.
the map that I was given by Public Works.
And I have the
the
one
map.
that I was given.
Where did the map you gave me, where did that come from?
From our GIS.
Because
Now, I know the
I go-
supervisor of elections had sent out some cards, and they were wrong.
That's what you
And then
sent to
resent them
second,
out
and then
again.
resent. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what their mapping
Oh,
is.
that's
It's
a
separate
problem.
than us. It's not.
Problem.
We gave them the data, and the one situation in particular, their online map, their interactive map, was correct with ours, but for some reason, whatever the system was in the data in the system wasn't matching that, and so it had sent out cards.
But then they sent a second round
Yeah.
of cards with another date on the bottom.
Yeah. But that's the county, that's not us.
I've gotten
We've
good
provided them with
exercise.
the information. I think they have it figured out.
Okay.
Glad I'm not running.
All right.
Okay.
So we think I have the right map.
Do you have Keach?
I'll get you.
Keach?
Yeah, do you have Keach?
Yes, I have Keach. I live a block away from Keach. Yes, I have Keach.
My cutoff is Keach.
And it must be cut off somewhere
On the
south.
east side. I'm on the, yeah, exactly. It doesn't go all the way down.
Doesn't cross Orange
No.
Avenue?
It starts, exactly. I start on MMB.
Mm-hmm.
MMB Keach, heading north.
Okay, and I'm MMB. Oh, Keach. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
By Pine Haven, yeah.
Yeah. And so then you're...
And I'm heading north.
You're east.
I'm east here and I'm north there.
Okay.
Some really great streets, by the way. Nice community.
Yeah. All right. I hope everybody had an enjoyable and safe and memorable Memorial Day weekend. I see that Mrs. Carmen Williamson is in the audience. She's president of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, which I'm not a member of. And their organization recognized 5 community organizations on Saturday night at the airport. And it's just nice to show organizations who give back that they are appreciated. Because so often folks don't recognize what people do. and they don't take the time to say thank you. And so here was an organization that took the time to say thank you to other organizations, and it was a beautiful program. And the young man that spoke was the pastor for the airport. The chaplain for Halifax Health, and he did an excellent job. He's someone that I think others will be calling upon because we were quite pleased with him. And so I enjoyed that program tremendously, and thank you for thanking others. And that concludes my comments.
So during our sesquicentennial, the Halifax Historical Society hosted the Florida Historical Society at their welcoming event at the Halifax Museum on Beach Street. And I was able to talk to a lot of the people there, and they were just very enamored with our history, and they did tours of Jackie Robinson, they did tours of the Thurman House, Mary McLeod Bethune's gravesite and her home. They also went to the casements, but it was just really nice and special that they were here appreciating our history during our 150th celebration. Letitia just handed out some rack cards. These are the events that we're going to be having for our birthday weekend. It's going to start on July 24th, where we're going to have a drone show and illuminate the decades with music at the band shell. On Saturday, there's going to be a Main Street event. Then that evening, there's going to be a concert at the band shell. And then we're going to have our community day on July 26th at the Cherry Center. We are still looking for sponsors to help us with the cost for this event. We've secured some, but if you know any organizations that would like to help sponsor us, they could go to db150.com. All the information's on our website, so I hope that everybody could come out and celebrate Daytona Beach's 150 years. And I just want to thank Communications Department, Katie from Parks and Rec, Samantha from Parks and Rec. They've just, even our IT department, everybody's been really helpful in putting the event together. We're also going to be launching Agents of Discovery, which is going to be an app that will promote our rec centers, our parks, and historical places also in Daytona. The other thing was, it was great to be at Fire Station 1, the ribbon cutting, Camp 2, you missed it. It was very interesting. We got to use the Jaws of Life, so, and it was beautiful. They also have a structure there in the front of the building where we'll be doing our capsule for 150 years to, that date's to come, so I'll keep everybody posted on that too. And I hope everyone had a safe Memorial Day weekend, and to everyone that came tonight, thank you very much.
I only have one thing left. Everything else was addressed during the meeting. Electric bicycles. Those things go really, really fast. They pay no attention hardly to the rules of the road, traffic, or anything. And I guess if you're a grown man and you don't want to wear a helmet, it's the same thing as a motorcycle. That's fine and good. But I see a lot of school-age kids, elementary-age kids, riding those things in traffic, going very fast, no safety equipment. And if traffic stops, they just start zigging and zagging through the stopped traffic. I would think, I read somewhere that a couple of cities have started adopting some rules for that. Maybe we need to look into that if possible, because next thing you know, we're going to be ridiculed because we didn't do anything sooner when a few school kids get killed.
We had an ordinance teed up to be on first reading at tonight's meeting. The ordinance was also, as a housekeeping item, going to address some related issues on pedicabs, which turned out to be more complicated than staff thought. So we're in the process of revising the ordinance to remove the pedicab stuff, which needs to be resolved at a later date, and it'll be back on first reading at the next meeting, just on the e-bikes. And that ordinance is based on what some of the other local jurisdictions have done recently.
I'm not talking about the scooters now. I'm talking
E-bikes.
about regular bicycle. They look,
Yeah,
you know.
e-bikes. And there'll be updated regulations on bicycles as well.
And
with
the
e-bikes.
scooters too.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
What, on the scooters? Why the scooters?
I'm sorry.
They do the same thing with them. They just don't go as fast.
Yeah, but why would we need an ordinance on the scooters?
I've got Mr. Jackson who is working on the ordinance in the
And-
audience. Does the ordinance update regulations on scooters?
No, we have a adequate ordinance.
Okay. And my next question is, I know the state has laws on those as well. We can't override the state laws, right?
Well, there's a uniform traffic control law, and there are some things we can supplement, and there are some things that we can't. But this ordinance has been drafted with the state law and compliance with the state law in mind.
And just so you know, because recently I looked up all those laws because my grandson just got a scooter.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure he was
Anthony Jackson, Deputy City Attorney. On the scooters, we didn't have to make any adjustments regarding the scooters themselves. That we had a law already on the books that was adequate, and the changes that we adopted that were similar to the other cities didn't really address the scooters either. We have, what we did address is adopting a bicycle or electronic bicycle ordinance, and some modifications to the bicycle ordinance that we already had.
That doesn't overlap on controlling the scooters.
We have an ordinance in place with that control. It's just an enforcement issue for us if we're having any problems with scooters.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay.
All right, good evening, everybody. So I went to the Boys and Girls Club event, and some of us were there. Mr. Patriot was there, and Commissioner Reed was there, and I think, were you there, sir, too? At the Boys and Girls Club, yes. Ken Strickland. Your lovely wife. And then I went to the Military of Hearts, Military Purple Hearts event. Again, really nice event. Always enjoyed the people. Very nice atmosphere when I'm there. So thank you, Commissioner Ken, too, for that. And also Mr. Strickland was there. At the International Festival, I have some video. I didn't have time to run it by the manager, though. So we actually had 2,600 participants, which I find to be amazing. I did not know it was that many people over a 2-day period on Manatee Island. I was there, I didn't feel that because the island is so big, it can hold so many more people. But their first year, they had maybe 50% of that. And so by having the Daytona Beach, they doubled it immediately. So it was a great event, and we hope to do it again. Historical Society enjoyed that tremendously, was a little bit late because of the rain. Fire Station 1, wonderful building, and it was really heartwarming to see so many community members there. I was impressed at just the varied number of people who showed up. All ages were there, different parts of the zones were there, and it was very nicely done. Then I do have a question about the Boaters Lounge. In their contract, the marina residents, right, the liveaboards, in their contract, does it say that they automatically have, I think that's what you're bringing up, they automatically have, is it in our advertisement that we offer that anyway? Do we happen to know that? Can we check that?
I'm sorry, are you referring to the boaters boat club building?
Exactly, the building. Is there somewhere in the residence contract on the liveaboards that do we advertise that we provide a space for them to meet and congregate?
I don't believe that we do that.
Could we double check that, please?
Well, whether we do that or not in the contract, that's one of the things that the resolution is going to establish as authority for the manager to administratively approve the temporary use of the boat club building.
Without a fee, or was it with a fee or without?
Without a fee.
Without a fee. Okay, that's what I want. Because I
And
believe.
which I did hear they used to be able to. So you need to look up how they used to do it, and then it was taken away from them.
Yeah, I don't know the history of that, but on looking at the code tonight, there wasn't any clear language one way or the other. So that's why I suggested the resolution earlier.
Okay, I was double checking on that.
Yeah.
And you said something about insurance because
The manager mentioned something about
usually
insurance.
when you want to
Like a
rent out a
community
facility,
room.
you can go pay, what is it, like $25 or $50 for the day to get insurance to do something like that.
Okay. And then I would very much like to take a tour, and I mentioned this before, of all the fire stations and also the water treatment plant, if possible. But the times I want to go are a little bit off. So I would like to go to all the fire stations. I might bring somebody with me, and then the water treatment as well. But I want to see all of them. And if I could arrange it, I mean, the chaplain, I think, is going to be out of commission for a moment, but maybe when he returns, that he would maybe escort me, if possible. Chaplain for the fire department. Do they have a pastor?
Well, chaplain, we'll look at it from two folds, because if you're trying to go into certain private areas of the water treatment plants, and also
Not for that, for the fire
in the
department.
fire departments, they do have their living quarters that
That's
we
fine.
just don't. So we'll coordinate with the appropriate staff.
Okay, thank you. And also, I'd like to do it in the next month, if possible. I'd like to try to knock them out within 4 weeks, if I can. And so I can arrange my schedule and tell you. And sometimes might be late afternoons or early evenings as well. All right, thank you.
Yes, we had the state Purple Heart gala in Daytona Beach. Commissioner Strickland, Commissioner May was there. We were given a new Purple Heart flag to hang out front, which I forgot it in my car, and I'll bring it to the next commission meeting. And we were told anytime we need a new flag, they will mail us one for free. So for the front. And this weekend is at the band shell. It starts at 7 o'clock, I believe. The Veteran of the Year that we do every year. Are you going to be there? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's something we do every year, and it's pretty fun. The Quilts of Valor will be there as well, giving out quilts. Senator Wright will be giving out state proclamations, and there's a VIP tent for all the commissioners and VIP guests. And then this is Saturday. Thank you. Saturday. Thank you. And that's about it.
I'm up. I'm going to take me and the mayor's time. Just joking. So we added some classes to our STEM program. I want to tell you about some of them. We're going to have a smash and dash monster truck learning about force and speed for 6 to 10-year-olds. We're going to have a Lego family challenge night. So if you are a family that is really into Legos, you're going to be able to come out, and we're going to have a big Lego challenge. And I talked to a lot of the staff, and apparently Lego challenges are a big deal because a lot of the staff are like, I want to teach that class. So we're going to have a Mommy and Me chemistry class for 3 to 5-year-olds. So they'll come on Saturday mornings, and they'll learn a lot about little different chemistry lessons. There's going to be some 3D printing going on. We're going to have some 3D printers that we're ordering. And the good thing about the 3D printers is the community will be able to use them. So how the Hassam and the technology department is going to set it up is that they will be charged, the printers will tell them how much it is to print one of their particular 3D things, and they'll be able to print it. And we're going to have other printers where teachers in the community, you know how teachers have to go to Best Buy to print their posters, and you already don't have a budget, so you're spending your money. They'll be able to come in and they'll be able to use the printers that we have for a nominal fee. So another city does this, and they have it's like a lab, a STEM lab, and people can come in from the community, and the community can use those resources. So we're ordering and this is going to be at 2 centers. So it's going to be at the Schnebley Center and at the YSG Center. So the printers will be at both centers so that it's on both sides of town. That way when people are hollering, oh, you're only doing stuff on one side of town. Nope. I'm going to have one on each, have printers on both sides of the towns. And they're going to do different kinds of 3D printing. There'll be like a laser printer one, and then staff is going to come in and teach the classes. So you'll learn about Kids will learn about starting a business with STEM and how STEM affects us in our everyday life. So that's part of the STEM program. Also, there's going to be a perfume and cologne making chemistry class for the adults. So you want to come in and you want to learn how to make some yummy smelling perfume and cologne, you'll be able to do that. And also, there is going to be for our seniors at both centers, the Schnebly and at the YSG Center, there is going to be a sip and paint. So it's going to be, it's not just a STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. It's more STREAM. So it's science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math. So that's what we call it in school. It's STREAM. And so they'll be able to come in. Now, they're not going to be able to sip on real wine, but we're going to have them some little lemonade, and then they'll be able to paint. And I introduced this at my last community meeting, and I'm telling you, the class is already going to be full because the senior citizens are ready for these classes already. So we're going to have that as well. And we're going to continue to add classes over the next couple months, so it'll go over into the next year. With these printers, the good thing about the printers is that the STEM program won't stop at summertime. You'll be able to use these for the next 3 or 4 years. So it extends the program out and it keeps the community involved in what STEM can really be. The fire department was just amazing. It was a beautiful place. And so really enjoyed that. Did an event where I sponsored the Domestic Abuse Council's 5K run at Manatee Island at the park. And it was amazing. They had over 250 runners. So they raised a lot of money for domestic abuse. And I'm telling you, that's one of the best things that I've ever sponsored. Seeing those people and hearing those stories of survival and people who were able to get out, and now they have a community of people around them supporting them. Amazing. My last thing is that I talked to some employees. And, you know, with everything that's been happening and going on, staff morale can get low with so much happening in the community. And I just wanted to tell the staff, first of all, I wanted to say one thing, and that is, Monica, I appreciate how every time a staff member gets up here, you tell them thank you. I wanted to not focus on negative things, even in the negative climate and environment. I don't think you know how far that goes for staff, just a simple, and you don't just say thank you, you acknowledge exactly what they did. I don't care if they helped a neighbor with a water bill. You say, I just want to say thank you for helping that neighbor with their water bill. And that means a lot to the staff. It means a lot to me just being up here. So I just wanted to still continue to encourage our staff and tell them thank you. And tell them thank you for the work that they're doing in the community, even though sometimes the environment seems kind of hostile for them. It's got to be hard to get up and come to work every single day and face the things we face. I as a teacher, my principal retired. And not only did my principal retire, my assistant principal, they moved her to another school this week. And I was a person who had an extremely supportive principal, an extremely supportive assistant principal. Even when I didn't get it right, and I'm new back in the school system, so a lot of things have changed with IEPs and how you can be sued for so many different things. And I have a principal who still shows me so much grace. So to watch her leave and to think about the staff here and to try to continue to remember that we have to show one another grace. Even with whatever we're going through, we have to show one another some grace sometimes. It's nothing wrong with showing each other grace. And so I just wanted the staff to know that they are appreciated, even when we don't get it right. Even as we learn things that we haven't gotten right, that we need to do better on, that I want us to continue to show them a form of grace and a level of grace. I was traumatized, I'm telling you all, losing my principal, because I wonder who will come in and who would show me grace. And I just want staff to know that there are a lot of kind, supportive people who still support you. No matter what you're seeing online, no matter what you're reading online, the people who are here and they come and they see what you're doing, they know the good things that are going on in the community. Do we need to make some changes? Sure. But are some good things going on? Absolutely. It's some good things going on. We cannot be up here and feel like we haven't all made a significant impact on our particular communities. And so I just want staff to continue to be encouraged, continue to be prayerful that things will get better. We will get through the things that we're experiencing. I want the city manager to be encouraged, because it's important for you to be encouraged, because you got a lot on your shoulders. I would never want your job. You have a lot on your shoulders, and the city depends on you to help us get it right. And you're responsible for a lot of people. You're responsible for a lot of people. You can't see everything, you can't do everything, you can't get everything right. But as always, no matter who sits in that seat, I'm gonna support them. I remember having conversations with the other city manager. And there's a lot of stuff he didn't get right either. There are a lot of projects that didn't get done with him. But until he retired, I tried to be supportive, and I tried to show him a lot of grace. And that's kind of my comments for tonight. Grace. Grace is my vocabulary word for tonight. Let us try to show one another more grace. Let us try to get it right for our city. And we can be disagreeable without being combative. It's nothing wrong with being disagreeable. Nothing wrong. I don't see anything at all wrong with us not agreeing with one another. We represent so many diverse communities. The needs in every community is completely different. It is. In my community, there are 3 football teams that support over 200-300 kids. So when I see comments about she gave to this, I'm giving to the community in which I serve. And because I've lived in that community for over 50 years, I know the needs of the community. You see, I've raised my children in the community. I don't take them to another community to play football. I don't take them to another community, even though they may thrive better in those communities. I don't take them somewhere else to make those communities better. I tell them, you must stay in your community if you're gonna make your community better. That's what I tell my children. Every day I have this conversation with my children. When they say, I wanna go to another school, I don't like this school. No, you stay in your community, you work, you make it better. You learn your community. And no matter what you think, I know my community. You see, I go to their houses. I talk to them, just like you all do. So you know what your community needs. And their needs are different. What your community may need, my community doesn't need. But I know if kids are not actively involved in sports and have responsible adults coaching them every single day, crime goes up in my community. Crime goes up. So if I have 200-300 kids in my community and they're in practice, when they get out of school at 3:30, they run home, get something to eat, and they get ready to go to practice. They're in practice from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 8:30, and they have responsible adults in charge of them. They have responsible adults mentoring them. And so your house don't get broken into, your house don't get broken into, your house don't get broken. No, but people's houses aren't getting broken into because they're being mentored. So I just want you to know that when you don't think that certain communities should have certain things or should be given certain things, there's a reason why certain communities need certain things. It's to help you and protect you too, and to make your house safer and to make you better, whether you know it or not. And these are things that we have to think about when we make comments about who's getting what or who's not getting what. I'm just as excited about the beach side and all the conversations we're having about the beach side and the wraps and all the things that the beach side needs. See, the people up here, the majority of us, we can walk and chew gum. We can care about more than one thing. We can support more than one thing. You don't just have to care, and like I tell all of you, I might be Mother Duck of Zone 5, but I don't want people coming over to the beach side and I go on TikTok and they saying nasty things about my beach side. That's my beach side too. I want my beach side to look good, and I'm committed to doing what needs to be done so that the beach side can look better. This is a long conversation, but I've thought about this for a long time. And I want people to know grace, understanding can all go together with disagreement. Those are my comments for tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Now we're going to hear from our residents.
Okay. Our first speaker is John Navarra, and on deck is Thomas Russell. I don't know if he left or not. Okay.
Okay. John Navarra, 168 Springwood Drive. And kind of thinking about what Commissioner Henry had just said about us with different communities, I think of 3 strikes, you're out, some unfortunate things that happened that affected our community years ago. The first strike was in April 1980. I was in 9th grade. I lived in New York, and I was reading the Sporting News. And I read a passage that stated that the Los Angeles Dodgers were leaving cold and rainy Daytona Beach and moving to Vero Beach. Strike one. That would have been a lot of benefit to the city of Daytona Beach. And it's not Daytona Beach's fault. We sure would have wanted to keep the Dodgers, but the decision was made by Los Angeles Dodgers to leave. And then I heard rumors when I moved here 4 months later about this company called General Electric. And they did some pretty magical stuff for our community. They hired men, women, white people, black people, anybody to work in the company and paid really high salaries, about $40,000 a year. Yeah. And all of a sudden, when I went to college, I came back, people said, unfortunately, they were gone. And then McDonnell Douglas was here. And my 12th grade social studies teacher for Americanism versus communism, what we were taught in high school here, he wound up leaving education because he only made $3.56 an hour, and the minimum wage was $3.35, so he only made like a quarter more an hour than the students. And so he went to work for McDonnell Douglas here in Daytona Beach, and he made $40,000 a year in 1981. And unfortunately, he didn't stay at our school. And so they left, strike three. And so I'm hoping that in the future, there will be other companies that move in that offer those kind of salaries. I have a political science major, one of my majors. My other one was journalism. And I could have maybe worked for McDonnell Douglas for $40,000 a year. But unfortunately, I was at a grocery store and I earned from $10,000 to $14,000 a year from the time I was 24 till the time I was 35 till I got hired by the school system. So I'm hoping that, and what I thought about was when Avalon Park came in last meeting, I can understand approving it and stuff like that. It sounds like a really good community, but then I thought about the rest of Daytona Beach, and it seems it's no one's fault. And we just had a lot of tough breaks over my lifetime here. And if I could have worked in some of those companies, I could have earned much, much more for my family. So I'm hoping for the good for the future. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is it Trayvon Telfair? Okay, Teresa, is it Warner? And on deck is William Biddorf, who I think he left as well. He's coming, okay.
Okay, Teresa Warner, 212 Woodland Avenue. I had a big speech, but you went over a lot of the stuff I said. So I had to change it. Okay, the people living under the pier, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do legal stuff, spend lots of money. They got hammocks hanging under the pier. They got, what are they called? Windbreakers tied and hooked to our pier that we own. How is anybody allowed to tie anything to anybody that the city owns? Get down there and cut them down. They're in hammocks, so when the tide comes in, they don't get wet. Cut them down. Cut them down, and not this crap, oh, it's the beach, oh, it's Chipwood, oh, it's us. Work with Chipwood. And if Chipwood don't want to work with you, then you come here, you go to Channel 9, and you go right on there and do him in the way he did us in when he said no one would work with him when the big spring break thing came in. You don't know how to get them out of there? Park a police car underneath that pier, under the archway. The beautiful $200,000 archway that we paid for, that I can drive under. People are living under there. So me as a taxpayer can't drive under there, but you can live under there. Park a police car under there. I guarantee you those people will be out of there really quick. I don't care if it takes 1 day, 2 days, 5 days. Get them out of there. That's wrong. There's a woman that used to surf there. She don't surf there no more. People are afraid. They're afraid. And Ken, you said, oh, why should we be power washing the street or cleaning the street, Main Street? Why should a T-shirt, lady selling T-shirts, have to power wash her pavement in front of hers when we get vendors in that you get money for? They come in for Bike Week. They just came in for Jeep Week. They pay the city money. They're drinking sodas, hot dogs, this and that. Now they walk away. They're spilling it all over the jewelry shops sidewalk, the T-shirt people's sidewalks.
Now they should pay to clean that up? No, you made your money. And this man who came here, he was very, very nice. He runs I don't know, he runs the borough, the city, whatever. He said, we power wash that all the time. We clean up and down the sidewalk. We go a couple times a week. You're all worried about what's the appearance. Come down Main Street. It looks like Detroit. It's disgusting. Come on, why don't you say the truth here? It's disgusting. You need a professional machinery. The machinery that you got is no good. You can go up there 10 times a day. It ain't going to get he even said, it ain't going to get the stuff off that sidewalk that's on there. So if you need chemicals, you need soap, you need whatever, and whatever it costs, pay it. This is supposed to be the big famous Daytona Beach. And he said, well, we're taking money from here to do this. I don't care where you take the money from. This is the most important place that they come and see. Let's see about Lady of Lords. Now, I like Lady of Lords.
I'm sorry, your time's expired.
Do you realize that a man was hit in the face with a soda can?
Your time has expired, ma'am. Thank you.
Man was attacked walking his dog. And you all sit there in La La Land having your...
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker is William Biddorf, and on deck is Greg Santpadre.
Hi, my name is William Biddorf at 402 East International Speedway Boulevard, actually 402. I'm not going to get upset and yell at you guys. Well, good evening. Tonight, I'm respectfully asked for fairness, consistency, transparency, and equal treatment under law. On July 9th, 2025, my property at 400 East International Speedway was subjected to a highly publicized raid associated with case number 2025-11065 MMDB. That case was ultimately null processed. I had a charity there. The big mistake is they didn't even know there was bingo on there. They didn't even know that I had a bingo hall. I think they still thought I had a strip club because they were wondering where the stripper poles were. Haven't been that for years. At the same time, the city initiated a code enforcement case number CE 2025-1419 regarding a fence condition. That was my neighbor's fence, Mr. Casadakis, next door. Within 2 days of the raid, I was provided from Inspector Carl Wexenberg of Code Enforcement. I provided him surveys, photographs, and property information showing the fence involved was not my responsibility. Carl Wexenberg personally told me that the neighboring party would receive the same enforcement action that was being directed at me. That was roughly, I think, on the 12th of 2025 in July. Nothing else really happened. I actually waited. I think I waited over 10 months. I recently put something in April in 2026, and finally, my neighbor got written up for the fence. Finally. I was looking at fines per day. Instead, I faced daily fines, continued enforcement pressure, additional expenses, and additional delays, while my neighboring party was not treated the same way. In that fact, it took over 10 months. I respectfully ask, why was enforcement immediate against me? Why enforcement delayed against others? And why was I expected to resolve the issue? The surveys, photographs, and city records indicated that was not my responsibility. I understand none of us are perfect, and I'm not nagging anybody up here. This was more than about a fence. This was about confidence. This was about fairness, and this was about equal enforcement. For 25 years, the B-side court had struggled while I drive past empty buildings, underutilized properties, missed opportunities, investments that will never happen because of things like this. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm just asking for things to start. Let's start working together. Let's encourage investment. Let's revitalize Daytona Beach beachside corridor. Let's create Daytona Beach where every property owner is treated equally under law. In a sense, we can do better, we should do better, and together we build a stronger Daytona Beach together. Thank you for your time and service and consideration. You know, I can say that, you know, Mr. Fiat, you came in and fixed a lot of problems, but they're still going on. I know you're fighting the good fight. So
Thank you, sir.
Please, thank you.
Our next speaker is Greg Santpadre, and on deck is John Nicholson.
Good evening, committee members. My name is Greg Santpadre. I live at 215 Williams Ave. My concern is an EPA concern.
The other day I Googled, where can I dispose of used motor oil in Daytona Beach? And believe it or not, the first address that popped up was the Halifax Harbor Marina. So I went there. They're called igloos. They hold 300 gallons of oil, and there's 4 of them on the property. The igloos are in a trough that only holds 30 gallons. So if you can do the math, it's like having a gallon of water and trying to fill up an 8-ounce cup of for the overflow. One of the things is the city inspectors, have they gone out there and looked at these igloos? Because I did, and there's oil all over the ground. There's oil leaking. There's 5-gallon buckets of oil with no lids sitting there. The pavement's all covered in oil. And I'm wondering why these igloos, my question is, why are these igloos at the marina when we know that area floods? When Milton came here, we had about 2 foot of water in that area. All that runoff is going into the waterways. If you go at any storm drain in the city on the curbs, there's a little plastic medallion that's glued to the storm drain that says do not put oil or toxic waste in the storm drains. That leads to the water and kills our fish. One of the things that I think that we should do is move these oil igloos to the county landfill and get them away from the waterway, which is to me an environmental protection concern.
Sir, where at the marina are those being stored?
Excuse me?
Where at the marina? Where are they being stored?
There's one across from the blue bathhouse. There's one across from the yellow bathhouse. There's one across from the pink bathhouse, and there's one in the North Basin.
So there's 4.
There's 4 of them.
Did you get all that? Oh, yeah, we got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. And then, it being I have time, I want to go back to the 12C that Ms. Powers was bringing up about Peninsula Drive. And yes, it is a roller coaster. And I live off of Halifax Drive, and it's just as bad. And I don't know what they're going to do with that road. There's some dips on Pelican Court that there's a storm drain there. I notified the road department, and they said that they looked at it, and it's a storm drain that has a sewer line going through it. The guy told me he had a camera in there, and it's a major problem. They continue putting pavement over it, but if you drive there, the road dips down a good foot, and it's like, I don't know if anybody went to get their car fixed, but car expenses are getting to be more and more expensive. So thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is John Nicholson, and on deck is it Jonathan McCarrick? McCarrick.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. At the county council meeting yesterday, they had a very long discussion on DeSantis and his property taxes. During the meeting, he said, "Oh, it passed, so it's going on the ballot." So half the commission is worried about what they have to cut. The other half is saying, "Oh, don't worry about it because it's not been voted on yet, and we've got 2 years. It's not going to take effect until 27." Well, I haven't heard any discussion from you all, because I understand we have a lot. Unlike a lot of other cities, we have a lot of business. We have a lot of tourists. We don't rely as much on our income from our residents, all right? But it will cut us, especially if it goes to $500,000. It'll cut all of it. And I don't remember how many years ago we got $52 million from property taxes or something of that nature. So I don't know what it is now, but it's still a substantial amount of money. So what would we cut? The counties cut the cultural arts. They're cutting back on Votran. They're cutting back on the library. So these things are what are we going to cut back on? Somebody just meant.
They haven't made any decisions yet, John.
Yeah, but that's they have on Votran and they have on cultural arts. Okay. Both have been cut. Trust me. It was brought up today about our children, leisure services. When you cut at one end, you pay for it at the other end. So I think it's a discussion that we have to have. Secondly, again, with the boat club, again, that building is going to remain empty. You're saying that only the boat, people on the boat can rent it. Only those that are on a boat can use it, not the rest of the city. So again, we have something that the residents cannot use. I wish you would open it up to the residents also being able to rent it as well. Appearance, beachside. We really do have to say, the mayor said, I guess I don't remember when the hurricane was, he had the plaza where took a walk down Seabreeze. He said, we really have to do something about beachside. That we dedicated an arch on Main Street. We really have to do something about beachside. Oh, that was almost a year ago. At some point, we really must do something about beachside. It is an economic engine. It employs an awful lot of people. It brings in an awful lot of taxes. It's a clean industry. We cannot really lose. We've lost a lot of it. We don't want to lose any more. Thank you.
John, I agree with you. We have to look at it. And Mr. Fiecher, I think you were sleeping, but Mr. Fiecher just brought it up, and he's bringing it up the next week. Okay, next commission.
Thanks, John.
Speaker, Jonathan, and on deck is Tom Caffrey.
Jonathan McCarrick, 214 South Grandview. I've been a new homeowner for about 18 months, so enough time to see the full cycle and see what's going on beachside. I started my conversation before on the concept of dwell, which is this notion of how long a tourist will stay in a location and spend money. And right now, if you go walk the boardwalk, you're there half an hour because you're done. You've seen it all. There's not much more to see.
I agree.
You need to have more stuff there. And I watched your last meeting, and one of the questions that was asked is, well, what could we do? You know, what is the suggestions for the kinds of businesses that we should encourage to come to our community? And I'm glad you all had the conversation you already did, but I'm going to give you more. Soft serve ice cream on the boardwalk, funnel cakes, boardwalk fries, mini golf, kiddie rides, sky ride, tiki bars, a beer garden, bike rentals, Surrey rentals. We should have a racing focus, something like retail experience, like car experience that you should be doing on, like, it only makes sense. We need to open up our mind as to what kinds of businesses we want to encourage to come down there. And if we do have property that is owned or controlled by the city, we should make up room to go encourage businesses that we rent that property to them so that they could have those kinds of businesses. The last thing I'll say is you all have been very consistent with using your condemnation power, your code enforcement, your eminent domain, and your ability to use redevelopment funds to purchase property to knock things down, but not replace anything. There has not been a single new building built in the year and a half that I've been here in the actual beachside area. There's a couple of things going on the one big hotel with the new parking garage going in, but there has nothing been built in 18 months that I've been here. Cities that are doing well are cities with cranes. We need to get some stuff going.
Our next speaker is Tom Caffrey, and on deck is Lauren.
Hallelujah. Tom Caffrey, 816 Main Street. Thank you, staff, commission, and acting mayor. So I've got a couple of things here. You guys, I've been watching you guys since 6 o'clock today, so I got a few things here. So things you can do on the boardwalk. Stairs south side of the boardwalk. There's no stairs south side of the boardwalk all the way to Harvey. Went there Memorial Day weekend, watched dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people walk down through the dunes to get out of your parking lot onto the beach.
watched homeless people set up tents and pop-up things to serve coffee out of your parking lot without paying for the parking lot fees. Then I also have here, do lighting on the volleyball court. So we have what's called an ITP permit that allows us better lighting than anywhere else in the county because we are in an entertainment district. So we don't have the same rules that the other areas north and south of us have. So we're allowed to do those things with some regulations and some other items, but we can do that. That's why the boardwalk is lit up late at night. Let's put some lights on the volleyball court. We used to have 6 volleyball courts that were part of the Hilton. That was part of their lease to vacate Ocean Avenue, but they are gone now. I don't know why they're gone. Joe's Crab Shack has in their contract, is supposed to have an ice cream shop at the boardwalk. They have a window there. It was open the first 8 months that it was actually part of that. And so it's actually not open. It hasn't been open in a very, very long time. So that's something we could have. Let's see, amusement deal with a vendor. I love that idea. You guys talked about that. That's something we bring up in the Beachside Redevelopment Board. It's really, really important. I think we could activate that park. Stop worrying about what other property owners have. Daytona Beach is one of the largest property owners on our beach side. So let's use some of that property rather than not use it. The one-way streets, they were implemented back in the 90s. So back in the 90s, we had some issues with a lot of high tourism traffic things that came in. So we created one-way streets on Main Street. We created one-way streets on Seabreeze. We created one-way streets that we really don't need one-way streets. We could turn those back into two-way streets again very easily. Just I'll go out there on a weekend. We could restripe those things and it would make everything better traffic. But that would be very good. So I would look at that as something that we could figure out. Let's see, potentially mirroring other communities. You look at DeLand, which was the #1 main street in the country. They have open container that's allowed over there. So they allow open container to bar hop and shop hop. So we could probably do that on Main Street, International Speedway, A1A and Seabreeze Avenue. We could put it down to those districts only and include Beach Street, obviously. That's another place that it could go. But I think that would be there and it would also help make the law enforcement have a little bit better congruency. Thanks.
Great ideas.
Our final speaker
Both of you had great ideas. I just wanted to say that. I like to see the wheels turning from the community.
This is our final speaker tonight.
Such a long day, right? All right. So I just wanted to say thank you for discussing improving Beachside. I sent out copying these because this is a shocking moment for me as we're speaking about how amazing we're going to get Beachside. I drive Oak Ridge a lot of times on the way home, and I was just a little surprised that it said apartments, offices for rent. So I contacted the number that's on it and asked, what are you doing here? And he said, I'll come right down and I'll meet you in the parking lot, which he did, and explained to me that he's creating office buildings at 501 North Grandview. He's been doing it for 2 months. And so we all looked into it, concerned about what's really going into this old SunTrust building. And there's no permits, there's no building codes on it. I know that this is supposed to be commercial enforcement for code enforcement, but we don't see anything on it. He's converting these into residential areas. The windows are all open. You can see that he's popped the windows out in it, and they're open. Now we have all this rain, and the windows are collecting all the rain. This building does not have air conditioning in it. He's told me so. And he said he's anticipating to make these units into, he's wanting to turn them into apartments. And that's going to be an air conditioning in each unit for the windows that he took out. But there's no permits for these windows. And so we have turned it in to code, and we do have a permit. And I'm here tonight just because I'm a little exhausted living on Beachside. I know you probably know who I am. And all I do is drive around, want to enjoy my beach. I have 8 grandchildren and I want to play here. I do, I want to play here. And instead I have to drive somewhere else. And I'm sorry about that. I really am. Because it's not that there's people that want to camp on the beach. I told Ridgewood, you know what? If camping is free on the beach, Residents are going to start doing it. I'm going to take my tent down there. I'm going to stay the night on the beach. I mean, if you can't enforce the laws, then we all can do the same thing. You know, we're all getting tired of it is what's happening. And so together we could change this, yet a resident shouldn't have to take care of zone 2. We shouldn't have to. Somebody should be in charge of this already, not me. I work hard at another job. This isn't my job. And so I don't like that we, the residents, have to call these in and have to find out that this person is creating something that we don't have any codes on beachside. And this building, just FYI, that is a beautiful building. It's a nice structure. He might be ruining it on what he's doing without permits. And how sad is that? We're going to have another building. We've got 6 of them sitting on A1A.
Mr. Fietcher, can you make sure you look into it? We were just saying, could it be a squatter?
It's probably he owns the property building, but she says she turned it in. It's a major building, so staff will follow up.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, what was your first name again? Okay.
Okay, it's been a long day, and I've been here since 6 o'clock. I want to address something that you said, Ms. Henry, that I feel like it's imperative that needs to be addressed. So I stand here as a minister, but I also stand here as someone who's done a lot of business in the Daytona area. My father is Mr. Timothy Hudson. We built the dorms at Bethune-Cookman. We also own several pieces of property on the beach. Timothy Hudson, yes. We own property on the beach side, and we own property on the Midtown side. We've did several homes for Transform 360. We just recently sold property on Oak Street to the CRA. Something you said tonight, I wanted to just sit back and be quiet. This is my first commissioners meeting to just learn. I'm new to Daytona. I've been here for a year, and I'm here for a spiritual assignment, not because I wanted to be here. And so due to my father's health issues, things are being transferred over to me. But you talked about grace tonight, and I think that's very pivotal. I wish a lot of other clergy would come and stand in their positions, because this is what we're called to do. I wanted to simply encourage some of you, because something that you said tonight needed to be said about the programs that are being funded in our communities. Thank you for saying that. If we do our history, the area that the African Americans were given, we were not given the best piece of property, but we did great, and we're doing great with what we're doing it. I encourage you all to continue to fund programs for our area. You said a lot of things and barriers that we know that happens in our communities. My mom's a 28 school year teacher. So having children in programs and having the STEM programs and having these things, it really helps students. It helps keep them off the streets. It helps prevent crimes. So very passionate about it. And then my last thing is that I want to just remind you all, these are public seats. And you made a great comment. Let's give each other grace, because we were all elected to be in these seats. And so I think that's just something that needs to be remembered. It's a lot of things going on in Daytona right now, and a lot of negativity, but it's a lot of positivity that's going on here. And that needs to be highlighted. It needs to be said on public record. And you all need to be encouraged for the work that you're doing, because there are people that are here, not because they necessarily want to be, but because they're God ordained. I'm one of those people. So when we chose to sell that property on Oak Street to the CRA, we did that for the betterment of the community, because we could have just kept it as a duplex or donated it to Bethune-Cookman, but we donated it to you all. And then the other things that we've done for the city. So thank you for what you said tonight. And let us remember, let's extend grace to everyone.